Okay. Okay. Normally we have like a deal session 6 to 6:30. We have like a camera to project the deals up on the screen here. I guess as we get going throughout the year, hopefully more of y'all bring more deals in, okay? This is also the networking event, but 6:30 to 7 we have a pre-meeting session. It's on LegalShield. Does anyone have LegalShield here? Does anyone have LegalShield? Okay. Do you use it regularly? I use it regularly. I use it like twice a month at least. Okay. So if it's okay, we're going to go through the pre-meeting session, okay, because I think it's really important to have something like this. But tonight, after our intro, announcements, and whatnot, we're going to have some convicted felons teach us how to do this. You know, when I introduce you'll see them. They're really not bad guys. You think of the word felon, it's just a word. That's what I've learned. So anyway, but okay, we're going to blow past the deals section for now. But the reason we have the pre-meeting LegalShield session now is, especially during COVID-19, the pandemic, a lot of legal issues have been popping up. And anyway, for example, more lawsuits seem to be coming out of the woodwork, if you will. McMaster, our governor, was actually sued because he wanted people to go back to work, and they're suing and saying, no, we don't want to come back. Stuff like that, okay? As well as in our Facebook group. If you're all not a member of our Facebook group, we'd love to have you come in and help us facilitate deal flow. That's the reason that Facebook group exists, but occasionally we'll get somebody posting a legal question, and this is stuff that, well, frankly, no one, as far as I know, in that group, except for maybe Rich Bowling, he's an attorney, okay, is really qualified to answer stuff like this. In this case here is a mobile home owned by one person that straddled two pieces of land, one owned by one person, and the other one who owns the mobile home, and the other one owned by a person who does not have any ownership in the mobile home. Does that person who doesn't have ownership have the right to evict? I don't know, I'm not an attorney. Okay, that's where LegalShield comes in. It's actually, for an affordable price, I can get an answer to that. This isn't my issue, so I didn't ask this, AG. Anyway, here's another one. Someone needs a probate attorney. I actually have a foreclosure. I started it and I stopped it because I questioned the attorney's competence. I'm going to bring it over to Merrick Webb, the LegalShield attorney. Besides, I get a discount off for LegalShield. So, but this person here is asking for a probate attorney. Probate's a pretty straightforward process for the most part, okay? So I would use this one here, LegalShield, to get the discount on the attorney fee. It's 25% discount, so I'm cheap, you know. Here's another one, okay? A couple who owns, I think there's a double wide. They were charged $22,000 to replace the roof on the double wide. That seems a little high. So they're asking, can they get this money back? Well, you know, I'm not an attorney. Okay, that's another LegalShield question. Here's another one. Oh wait, I backed up here. Sorry. Okay, here's one. This person, she was in a car accident, and you know. She actually admitted fault in it, and apparently her insurance doesn't cover, you know, all the people in the other car. I think there are 3 people in the car. And I just want you to know who the people that she hit and she admitted fault, you know, in the accident. They hired Hawk Law, and you all heard of Hawk Law? when a big dog bites, Hawk Law fights that guy, okay? So anyway, we have Hawk Law as the stereotypical ambulance chase, and of course we have 80309s, you know, don't scream, call the king, okay? So I want to have my own ambulance chasers if I have to deal with people like that, okay? So, and I don't want to have to, you know, pay a whole lot of money for them. This is my own personal use of LegalShield. This will really pay for itself for I don't know how many years. I got a judgment awarded from a tenant who was in default on a lease, and this was some years ago anyway. So they filed now in South Carolina. You get a judgment on somebody, okay? It attaches to everything they own automatically, including their real estate. So that's what happened here. I filed this judgment on them back in 2009, and now judgments also expire in South Carolina after 10 years to just disappear and never heard from again. Okay. Fortunately, they declared Chapter 13 bankruptcy in year 8.5. Okay. So the final result was, my initial judgment was for $7,590, and I was awarded down here. And with interest and whatnot, over 8.5 years, I was allowed to charge, oh, well, LegalShield also did a bunch of research for me. This is one of the lucky ones. Okay, I actually got paid. Normally when you have a judgment against somebody in South Carolina, it's really tough to collect. In this case here, since it's attached to their real estate, LegalShield did all this research for me and said, okay, this is what you can do since you have their real estate. And oh boy, it's been an education. If you think somebody's not a good credit risk and you don't know this person well, like they're not family or close friend or something, consider for you family or close friend, think twice about who you lend to. Okay, they default on you, you almost have no recourse, even if it was in writing. Just be really careful of that, okay? I learned that the hard way. Anyway, so these are a lot of exemptions LegalShield taught me about. Debtors are well protected in South Carolina. Okay, I think the state where they might protect them a little more might be maybe Florida. Okay, that's the best I can figure. It's real tough to collect here. So anyway, the bankruptcy attorney tried to get me to accept $7,580, the initial judgment amount from 8.5 years ago. LegalShield said, no, you can charge interest. So I was able to boost that to almost twice that. Okay, so this is what I ended up getting awarded in the bankruptcy court, and they're making payments to me over 5 years. So I got no problem. Oh yeah, with interest. So I got no problem with that. Okay. So in addition, I got interest on the initial judgment, plus I'm getting paid interest over the payments. So a few lessons. You can sue tenants for the remaining rent on their leases. I didn't know that either. If you evict somebody and before their lease ends, you can get them for the rest. Okay. Be picky about the tenants you spend time and money to sue. I've gotten 3 judgments on 3 people. 2 of them have less money than a dormouse. Okay? Fortunately, these people had something like real estate that my judgment was attached to. Okay? Also, that's another thing. Don't assume if you get a judgment on somebody, it's not reported to the credit agencies. You have to do that. The courts will not do that. I don't care what the gurus say. Okay? As I mentioned before, awarded judgments that are recorded at the courthouse, if you don't record them, you really don't have protection. Even if they're recorded, though, they expire after 10 years, never to be heard from again, which I think is a crock. You know, they should stay attached forever, in my opinion. Judgment amounts are entitled to accrued interest, which I also learned. Okay, that's how I was able to double my initial judgment amount. I use LegalShield at least twice a month, and, well, frankly, it's mainly to avoid incompetent, slimy attorneys. Okay, I had one attorney, she charged me $700 to bring her, now this was a different bankruptcy case, to bring her to bankruptcy court, and she didn't know what she was doing. I knew more about bankruptcy than her, okay? So be careful, okay? Get good attorneys, and as far as I know, in South Carolina, I know LegalShield has good attorneys, the Merit Web people. Now, if it's okay, I'd like to introduce our regional director in LegalShield, Sarah. Like you had a brain fart.
There's no problem like that.
Just Sarah. Okay. Sarah, okay. I'm sorry. Sarah Mitchell. You know, I know your name. I can't believe I forgot it. Okay, but so if it's okay, you know, Sarah, could you take over here?
Yes, yes.
Okay, down is forward.
Okay, down is forward. Okay, super. Okay. Well, great afternoon, everyone. Well, evening, what is it, night? Yep. All of the above, right? Would you agree that Bob perhaps should be charged extra for his membership utilization? Yeah. Great. I keep saying it's unfortunate we can't sell but one membership to a person. Bob gets his money worth. Well, anyway, I'm Sarah Mitchell, and it's always a delight to come out and visit with all of the attendees, and he certainly is reeling me in for learning more. Between him and Eddie, it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking at some of this. So I take him quite a bit. But Bob, Midlands REIA, they are a marketing arm for LegalShield. So I'm just a mouthpiece because I form relationships with businesses, organizations, individuals, so that they can stay focused on the core. However, they're in a position to offer LegalShield to others. And that's how it is for Midlands REIA. So we don't have the website on the handouts. However, you can see a website here, and I'll pass out my business cards and happy to entertain any questions that you might have. You're not obligated, but we like to inform. So would you agree with the right resources running a business could be easier? Absolutely, with the right resources. Is there anyone in the room other than myself and Bob and a few others that we've had dinner with this afternoon that's busy? Anybody else busy? So how many of you really have time to go and research the legalese? We just don't have time for that. Yet it can cost you everything that you work so hard and diligently for. So that's why we're so passionate about LegalShield. I've had LegalShield since 1998, and it has saved us thousands. One deal was a deposit after 4 months of $25,000 back into our bank account. That was just one. And I've had as few as getting me out of a cell phone contract because the phone didn't work properly in the new house, and they wanted to charge me an early termination fee. Many of you too young to even know about the company. It began with Sun. Yeah, so again, it wasn't but $175, but it was the principal. So how many people would call an attorney for a $175 dispute? Nobody in here. So I have gone from $175 all the way up to $25,000. So that's why it is, because we are busy, and Bob has been passionate about the service and educating since day one. Many of the attendees in here today has the service. On a small business budget, how does business owners legally protect their day-to-day decisions? How do they do it? What are some of the things that they do that may not be in their best interest, but they still do it? What was that, Eddie?
I said they Google it.
Google it. Call that best friend who did not go to law school. That cousin, that uncle, that auntie. And would you agree that with uncertain times, a lot of things change? There are a lot of COVID issues now. So again, who do you call? What if you could just tap an app on your phone? That's what we're talking about. Right now, we have a new set of issues dealing with contracts and the timeliness of them, risk mitigation, looking at commercial leasing. You know, some of you could have been involved in a leasing agreement, and with COVID, you needed to do a pivot. But what if they wanted to hold you liable? Yes, please do. Yes, please take a picture. None of this is proprietary, confidential stuff. It's public. And so what are you looking at? You're looking at having the ability to tap an app. You're here dealing with contractors, you're dealing with properties, you have other businesses. What if you could just have that attorney write that debt collection letter for you? Was Bob happy when he was able to, when he learned through his attorney that he could get double the amount of money? Eddie, we're going to have to get him to pay again for lunch. Yeah, right? But you know, again, was that worth a membership for about $35 or $40 a month? We can't even go to Panera Bread for $40. Not a party of 3 for sure. You know, that's what you're looking at, and it's the best write-off in the world. So you're looking at having that law firm there in the palm of your hand for a contract review, document review, tax-related questions, tax audits. I've even used them for that. New litigations and liabilities, and cybersecurity. Right now, 76% of cybersecurity attacks are against businesses with less than 100 employees. Is there anyone in this room with more than 100? No, but we are all at risk. That's what you're looking at. So people say, oh, it's just me. You're still, there's that risk factor. So that's how we help them. And as Eddie mentions, how do business owners make legal decisions? A lot of times they Google. Most of the time they just don't have the funding for in-house counsel. Some may if they're a little larger, but why even the larger firms now, when they learn about us, they are severing that relationship because it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. So that's where we are now, not having to worry about it. So we're encouraging everybody, join the collective buying power of LegalShield, and that's what's happening. So I won't go through all of these. Most of you probably can see the writing there. But you know, what if you as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, how many of you are solopreneurs? Most of us in here, you're solopreneurs, but you have some of the same issues as the big businesses have. That's what we're looking at. You know, just imagine having your law firm for the contract review, writing letters on your behalf. As Bob stated, just calling saying, I would like legal advice on this. I would like you to help me interpret this document. I just received it. I mean, I've used it so many times over the last 20+ years with them reviewing contracts and documents. And if you're audited, when we're audited, what do they look for? Schedule what? C&E, right? Just imagine, you know how much it would cost you to hire a tax attorney to just intervene? Tax attorney and criminal attorneys are your two most expensive attorneys. Am I correct or am I correct? That's what you're looking at here. It's included in this basic plan to help you. That's what's so exciting. We don't even have to worry about that piece. So again, we know 60% of small businesses owners say they experienced a legal issue within the last 2 years. That's very common. And it's not about going to jail, it's just legal situations. People learn what you do and they start seeing dollar signs. I mean, there are some individuals who literally make their living through taking advantage of others. And if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. So that's what we're looking at there. Owners report spending an average of $7,600 on an average. That could be quite a bit for a small business owner, is that right? Quite a bit. We don't normally have that fund set aside for legal fees with the commas, because if it's earmarked, it needs to be with commas. So that's where we are. As we know, small business have the same problems, but they don't normally have the same resources. So just imagine, having affordable access to your law firm, and if you're doing transaction out of South Carolina, guess what? You just still tap the app. That is huge. So it's not where you have the territory restriction, because many of you probably would end up closing some deals. North Carolina, Georgia, those are all those sister states. So you have that access there. Here again, you might want to write this down and I'm talking to you about the whole package. We have a personal plan that's $29.95. That's your personal plan. That's covering you, it's covering that significant other or a spouse. If you're married, it's not going to cover both. You have to decide which one, okay? But it's covering you or a significant other there. It also covers your children. How many of you have children at home? Any of you have little ones? Most of you probably have little ones. I think I'm the nana of the bunch, right, Bob? But again, just think you're the little one. I just enrolled a lady yesterday, 8-month-old baby. Bad situation, but that baby is covered. My daughter even used this plan for the twins. They were bullied in school. Are children being bullied now? Yes, they are. And of course, she ended up using it, had to get the attorneys involved because of no satisfaction with the district and none with the young lady's parents. After a cease and desist letter went out and their intervention, we were able to see the video footage and everything else. Nothing else happened after that except it went down the right road. So again, you have children, daycare issues. She even used it for a COVID situation at the daycare. She had to call because unfortunately they weren't aware of how COVID changed things. So again, you exercise your rights. So this personal plan is covering you, your children living at home up to the age of 26, never married. Is that huge, or is that huge for $29.95? If you have a child that's physically or mentally challenged, they are covered regardless of age. If you become the guardian, are there parents out there, are there family members out there right now that have had to acquire nieces and nephews and cousins because of COVID and incidents? Yes, that child is covered. All of that is for that one flat fee of $29.95. We even cover moving violations. We don't say go and just break the law, but I sure was happy when they negotiated my 4-point ticket and that fine at Myrtle Beach, okay? I live in Columbia, South Carolina. What would have happened to my insurance with 4-point ticket? Up and to the right. I was paid up for a couple of years right there with that. So that's what you're looking at, civil and trial defense. It starts with 60 hours. It increases up to 300 hours just in that category. We even cover 24/7 emergency access. We do believe that app is so powerful until if many individuals who are not here today, it's my belief, even if you don't agree with me, if they had that app on their phone, when law enforcement pulled behind them and they saw the light and they felt uncomfortable, they could have tapped that app. I do believe some of them would have been here today. If you're being detained, questioned, or interviewed, you can tap the app right now and have your attorney on speakerphone. Is that powerful? Is that powerful? 24/7, 365. That's part of your membership coverage. We also cover uncontested divorce, name change, adoption, separation. I have about 10 people right now. Now that area is a 90-day wait period, okay? But if you waited for years, would it matter to wait 90 more days? To know that you're not having to pay hundreds of dollars for a divorce. So I have about 10 people right now in queue, their little 90-day window, you know. It makes a difference. I get a lot of referrals for the potential divorce. I just did one yesterday. I'm telling you, a young lady with 8-month-old. It's like, wow. But you know, the fact that I can help her because she's in a situation right now where financially she's not able to pay thousands. But here, she can pay $29.95. And the benefit to all of you, that's part of your membership. And as I was saying over there, I'm not going to fool with the pointer because I don't know which way it might go. But you see over there where it says $14.95 on Home Business Supplement? That's for all of you solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. For $14.95, you now have a business component where they're now entertaining contract review, document review, debt collection issues, Schedule C, Schedule E, representation, all of that for that $14.95. Is that crazy or is that crazy? That's a lot. And that's what's offered. So for you saying, looking at that, just say, what, 30 or 15, $45? Comprehensive coverage. That's why when people really learn and understand, they agree that it's one of the best protections in existence. All of you, I'm sure you've dealt with attorneys. Yes, we all have. However, I enroll a lot of attorneys in this service because they too have colleagues, but they don't necessarily practice in all disciplines. They don't necessarily practice across state lines. So for that reason, as a matter of fact, the person that enrolled me in this service in 1998, he was an attorney and had 6 law firms. But he was now protecting others with this service. These are some other tiers that we have, and I'm happy to talk with you. I'm going to circulate my cards with you on these tiers, where you can have between the $49, $99, $169, and as a consultant on behalf of Midlands REIA, I just talk with you and see what's the best fit for you. I can just say from historical data that most solopreneurs, they start right there with that $45, and as you grow, you can upgrade. Or I have had some members during COVID that were paying the $169, but COVID just upside down to they went down to the $49. They went to the Home Business Supplement. So that's the beauty of the plan. You can go up or go down. Mom, I didn't look at the time, and I don't think my watch is right. So hell, you might not let me come back. Okay, you might not let me come back, family. But so that's what we do. I wouldn't dare enroll someone in a 169 when I know that 99 could best serve them. Now, one thing I would like to point out here, with that $99 plan, it comes with you can add, as you can see down at the bottom, 100 hours of trial defense for $14.95. Is that a lot? Can you imagine for $189 a year, you can have 100 hours of trial defense? That right there is about $60,000 worth of value for $189 a year. So that is very, very huge and impressive with a lot of our entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. Bottom line, affordable protection in and out of the courtroom, that's what LegalShield is about. Whether it's the family protection, the commercial drivers, we offer that. I don't know if any of you are firearm owners. However, I do a gun owner Zoom every month, and I have a CWP instructor, also he's a deputy, and he attests to the fact that, you know, the plan that we have is extremely robust as it relates to firearm owners. Because again, you don't have to hurt someone to have an incident, be in an incident situation. So keep that in mind. You can go on Bob's website, we're gonna have that, I think, Bob, you're gonna post that, right? And again, the other product that we offer moving real fast is identity theft. Identity theft is one of the fastest growing white collar crime in North America. It has increased 400% since 2020 March of 2020, 400%. Email is up about 600. That's what you're looking at. Here again is your DNA, because right now, everybody in this room, we're in a database somewhere. Your number just hasn't come up yet. I promise you that. And when it come up, how many of you have the time and knowledge to do the research for restoration? And it can be anything from medical theft, Social Security, DMV, criminal character, finance, name it. That's what we are. And we're very proud to say that we, not because I'm standing here, not because Barb is one of our marketing arms, Midlands REIA, but Forbes has identified us in the last 2 years as best of the best in the area of identity theft protection. So we're proud of that. It's comprehensive. Anyone in the room with social media? Yeah. What if something negative was there? I don't know if any of you filled out a what do you call it? Applications for employment. You know, a lot of time now they don't even ask for references. Like back in the day, your social media is your reference. And what is that? What if there's something negative there? How do you deal with that? What if you can have these experts helping you with that, pointing out things with that? So that's what you're looking at. All of your social media is covered. We do whatever it takes as long as it takes. Am I the only one that has used Wi-Fi at Panera Bread or a resort? How many others can be getting your information? Public. Well, with this service, you don't have to worry about that. We have the VPN proxy and all, so that you don't have to worry about that. We have the password manager, and of course the Trend Micro. You know, they're all of that. And this is a separate piece. If you're individual, it's only $19.95 a month for this comprehensive protection. If it's a family, it's only $34.95 for you and your children. Up to 10 children here. With the legal plan, it's unlimited. That is very huge. A lot of people, because of COVID and even pre-COVID, they were in need of credit counseling, and COVID has really changed things for a lot of people through no fault of their own. Here, you can have the credit counseling component and education as another piece there to help you move forward and advance. So that's what we're looking at. These are some of our other accolades. So we're very proud of where we are in the marketplace. Here, if you want to take a screenshot of these items, they're all on Midlands REIA website.
What's different between the small business plan for $49 and the personal with the additional $14.95?
Increase benefits.
Okay, so there is a difference between
There's
what
a
adds on to that
difference.
one? Okay.
And the handout has that, and I'm happy to
Okay.
even speak with you. But that's one of you get here a little
I
bit
see it,
more.
I see it. The business supplement.
Yes, and you can add that. Absolutely. Thanks for asking. But that's what you're looking at. These are the different plans. We even have the cybersecurity and commercial drivers, if any of you know. Another thing I would like to point out real quick, commercial drivers, does anyone know Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, any of those individuals? Because a lot of side hustles taking place, you know. Well, this is very attractive plan for them, and we have a ride share plan as well. A lot of individuals don't realize when that vehicle, and you don't have to take my word, when it's in an income producing, it's moving and it's income producing, you're moving a product or a body, that's commercial. And ride share and all of that. So we have plans to protect those individuals. Because again, you can have an accident and the insurance may not necessarily pay off the way you think, because that vehicle has changed based on what you're doing at that given moment. So that's how we can help a lot of people with that. Again, we're about education, and you know Bob is definitely about that. Lawsuits happen all the time. You know, rather than you try and Google and call that best friend who never practiced law school, practiced law and went to law school, call your LegalShield attorney. And here again, you can see Midlands REIA there. I'm Sarah Mitchell. I do all the enrollment for Midlands REIA, and we have perks. Is there anyone in the room other than me that likes savings? Now ladies, I know if you put a discount on a pair of shoes, it's over, right? 25%. Well, here again, we have perks. There are about 400 merchants that partner with us, and they provide discounts. We have saved thousands of dollars. $40 rental car for $15, $20. Just leave the airport and there's your car. Computer, sending the grants to the movie, just go in there, buy the movie tickets right here in Columbia, saving $5 and $6 per movie ticket. So sending flowers. So again, the perks help with offsetting the cost when you use the perks. So I like to teach that part too because it helps with the saving. That's it in conclusion. We don't have time for a Q&A. However, I would like to, circulate my business card. If you feel you would like to have one, please give me a call. And also, I'll have a drawing. Bob's going to do a drawing tonight where I'm gifting a membership. So you know the time
Well,
that
I'll explain
we bring that in.
Sarah was kind enough to purchase a membership, and she included that in that drawing for one annual membership. And, if you're interested in possibly winning an annual membership to Midlands REIA, please put your business card in here.
And did everybody get a handout because there were some extras up here? Thank you, Sarah.
I don't know where you're at. We may catch video and audio here, and it may be posted to places like social media and whatnot if nobody minds. Just a quick heads up on that. Liability disclosure, as far as I know, nobody here is licensed as an attorney or a financial advisor or a financial planner. Okay? Occasionally we'll have an attorney come to Rich Paul. I haven't seen it. But so anything you say here is just kind of hearsay and personal experiences, okay? If you question the legal or financial wisdom of anything you need, actually from anyone, if they're not licensed, then please seek qualified help, because technically we're not it here, okay? And that being said out of the way as well, from personal experience, I can tell you, oh boy, can I tell you some things, okay? So, but anyway. One of our REIA goals for 2022 is to cover a lot of these topics. When the internet is working, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay? We like to take like a survey from the folks here, and you put on your cell phone what you want to see. And we put this out, I guess maybe a year and a half ago, and these are some of the subjects people wanted to see. Okay, so we try to cover them throughout the year. Of course, time, sometimes time restricts that, but anyway. So if you have ideas that you want to see covered and whatnot, please let us know. Now, one thing that I don't know if any, like especially the newer people, okay, the success rate in creative real estate, the way we get into it, like we don't have a whole lot of money, okay, to start, is actually pretty low. It's abysmally low, okay. Nationwide, it's kind of this guy here is one of the gurus that sells search engine optimization and whatnot. He even admits 97% of people get into real estate investing the way we do it fail. Okay, only 3% ever even do a single deal. Now, realistically, in Columbia, one of my realtors, D'Angelo Lasker, I don't know if you know D'Angelo. Okay, she actually said it's probably a little higher. Okay, maybe closer to 10%, but still, it's pretty low. Okay, most of us. So let's face it, most of us who get in this business, we just don't have the tenacity to stick it out. It's not that it's difficult; we just don't have the tenacity to stick it out. Which is why I brought some of our special guests in tonight. One of our goals is more workshops, more and better subgroups, and this being January, we have plenty of room for that now, okay? 11 months, 11 and a half months. And I'm trying to work with the only contractor I trust up here in the Midlands, Eddie Sabina, right here. I'm trying to get Eddie to put on a couple of workshops, okay, some members-only workshops, if you will, okay? Be wary of the expensive coaching programs. Even some local people are selling from $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 and up. Okay, make sure they're really doing deals. Okay, also make I suggest you choose these mentors wisely who have survived a major recession like 2007. They'll tell you things right now that they don't know what to do in a hot, if this market turns into a cold market, they're going to get stuck like everybody else. Choose a mentor who survived a major recession, okay, in my opinion. Okay? And also keep in mind, human nature being what it is, even if we get an expensive $25,000 mentor or $5,000 mentor, whatever it came, most of us still won't do a single deal. We just don't have the tenacity for it, okay? Which is why I want to bring up Ricardo and Desmond. Okay, this is tenacity right here defined. Midlands REIA goal is to increase success rate affordably, being the key word, okay, to at least 50%. Okay, for beginners, we want to get you up and running as quickly as possible, independently from anyone else. Okay, we'd love to keep you here as annual members year after year. Okay, but we know your situations change. Eventually, you're going to outgrow us. Hopefully, you will outgrow us and do well. Okay. We want to get you up and running as quickly as possible with newbies. The advanced investors who choose to remain members want to provide the best continuing resources possible. Okay? For example, we know some hedge funds that moved into town. Okay? I'd like to put that kind of information out as well. Okay? Because when you're looking for deals, you're competing against guys with some serious money. Okay? You might have to go after the creative deals now. I don't know. Anyway, again, I want to emphasize for beginners, especially, we want to get you up and running as quickly as possible, independently from anyone else, even independently from us. Okay? Why the low success rate? I actually stole this from the LegalShield training. Okay? I think it's because what it takes to be successful is easy to do, but it's also easy to not do. Okay? Also, along the timelines here, to success or failure. Success and failure look pretty much the same until a certain point when you start to see success or failure. Okay, when you see failure, it's not really failure; just adjust. Okay, just change your course again, change your strategy. Okay, but I think a lot of people quit right about here. Okay, when they're about to see success or failure, and they'll never know. They'll go to their grave saying, "What if?" Okay. So I know a couple of guys, I'm looking at them, who never have to go to their grave saying what if.
No, sir. No, sir.
I'm just proud to call these guys my friends. You know, so. Anyway, how does a good club or association help? A good club or association, not necessarily just this one, will offer an abundance of resources. Okay. Also provide great networking. No, this is all affordably. Okay, you shouldn't have to pay thousands of dollars for this stuff. Okay, provide great networking, give the best training possible, affordably. Always seek to improve and adapt, and learn and teach best practices for local investing. Okay, now, I really hate this so much. I have to tell you one more thing. You're going to have these gurus, say, put our $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 fee in your credit card. Don't worry, you do a deal or two and pay it right off. Yeah. Okay. I don't believe that. Yeah. You don't have to pay that kind of money to learn this business. If you really want to go in that kind of coaching, learn the basics affordably. Do a couple deals, earn the thousands, and pay for it. So at least you're not saddled with the debt if you decide it's not for you. Okay. Don't let some guru convince you to put it on your credit card. I know. You know who she is, Eddie.
We ain't gonna say her name, but I want to.
I know one poor lady, she put a $60,000 mentoring program on her credit card. She hasn't done it. She's not even doing business anymore. But she's stuck with the payments on her credit card.
29%.
Yeah, exactly. So don't be like that. Okay? And to be fair, when I first started this business, I kind of fell into that trap. Okay? Fortunately, I said, hey, I want to be an engineer first. I'm going to do something. So anyway, we're always looking for suggestions on how to improve workshops, topics, subjects. Okay, so if you have something, obviously, turning wine into gold or something, you can't do that. Okay, but it's something that's reasonable. Okay, please let us know.
Water and wine.
We can do that too. That's a building thing. Anyway, I got it wrong. But anyway. So yeah, please let us know, and if we can do it, by all means, we'll try to implement that. Okay. We are on the major social media sites. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And we even had a Google Plus page when Google Plus was still around, okay? Now, but if nothing else, we do suggest you go into our Facebook group, okay? This is where there's a lot of deal flipping going on. It initially started as a way to match local private money with local investors who want to borrow the money to flip deals. It turned into more of a deal flipping group, which is fine, but still, people connect with private money in that group. Okay, and if nothing else, if you don't want to remember that website, okay, just go to our website, midlandsrea.com, and right there says click here for money and deals, and it'll redirect you to that Facebook group anyway. Now, at least once a month, I get people saying, where do we find these buyers? So if you log in, the members who log in, we have a cash buyers list, okay? It's over 50 cash buyers. These are proven cash buyers. And a lot of them were from networking at foreclosure sales, okay? I like to do that to find who the cash buyers are, as well as people who I've done business with, who other people have done business with, we know the cash buyer, okay? Now, there are some hedge funds out there too, so you might want to also try them. All right? Hedge funds are also paying good prices. Now, when you become a Midlands REIA member, okay, the first thing, at least now these are live webinars, this is not recorded stuff, okay? I set up 3 webinars with you, and this is not, I mean, don't get me wrong, you become a member, these are not your only 3 webinars. If you ever say, hey Bob, let's fire up a Zoom to see how do you use this direct mail service, click to mail, or something like that, okay? No problem, okay? 'Cause I don't have a job, this is what I do. In fact, investing is what I do. So, anyway, so the first webinar is finding deals from local sources with and without relying on realtors, okay?
I won't be like you, Bob.
Yeah, man, Bob told me he got no job. It's a job. You gonna fool these people, it's a job.
It's definitely sure. Webinar 2 is basics of all cash purchases and sales. I'm talking very basics, what numbers to look for to make a cash purchase or cash rehab or wholesale, okay? Webinar 3 is the fun one, okay? It's like putting pieces of the puzzle together, it's creative finance, okay? In fact, one of our speakers up here, Jay, has become a master of creative finance. He holds 7 rental properties creatively, with no money out of his pocket, and stuff like that. So anyone who's, at least in South Carolina, I can't talk for any other state, anyone who says, oh, you can, when I first started real estate investing, I spoke to a guy up in HUD here in Columbia, and he's like the head of the office there. He's looking, little schmucky guy, he's looking down, he's going like, oh yeah, you can't buy real estate without your own money and stuff like that, So, okay, yes you can. Okay, now that I know what I know, all right? So, that's webinar 3 is creative finance, okay? So, when you join, we initially put you through, I want to schedule as soon as possible 3 webinars with you. Each one is about 2 hours long, so that's why it's separate webinars. At one time I used to have it all as one, that's like a whole day. Okay, so anyway, I'm sure you all get tired of me, right? So, anyway. Now, we provide basic training and tools to succeed, okay? Basically, we're going to shove worms down your throat, okay? You take consistent and persistent action. That's the most important, okay? I'm serious, that's the most important. So many people just drop out because they don't do that. They say, oh, no, we're not seeing success. Well, just keep at it. I heard someone say, you can always give up. Why give up now, okay? Also, we provide support as needed. Now, we're Midlands REIA, we're not mentors. We're not going to charge like $5,000, $10,000, okay? Because we're more like reference librarians. By the way, if you don't have a Richland library card, get one. That's one of the best libraries in the nation. So I'm trying to model Midlands REIA after, the Richland library system. Okay, we're reference librarians. Now, we can only show you the door. You're the folks who have to walk through it. I just put this up here because I like orange fish from this guy's cool. Now, this is something I stumbled across. I thought it was pretty funny, okay? The way we do real estate, you don't have to put yourself a lot of financial and legal risk, okay? This is an Australian comedian, okay? He, in 2011, he won the New York State Heavyweight Bodybuilding title, okay? Because he was the only one who entered. Look at this guy. Seriously, he's the only one who entered it. So just get in the game, folks. In fact, if you get a chance, Google this guy's, or I should say put on YouTube, you'll see his winning routine, and you'll see the judges, when they had to award him that, they looked disgusted, but you know, that's the rules. See, he's in the record book. So anyway, get in the game. Wouldn't it be nice to make money in real estate just as a joke, okay? So, just get in the game. Okay, also discounts on Midlands REIA, annual members get discounts on Midlands REIA trainings and workshops. Actually, members, for the ones we can control, are free. Occasionally, to the members, occasionally we bring in outside speakers, like I like Tony Young's in Atlanta, Georgia. Another one's Randy Hughes, he does land trust, asset protection stuff. And we can't control what they charge for their workshops. But if it's a Midlands REIA workshop, okay, in fact, with Eddie's blessing and whoever's, okay, you know, you get heavy discounts are free. Members lots of times get it just free. Okay. Also, access to the members day with local cash buyers list, documents, videos, other resources, close guidance for deals. That's Midlands REIA only. That's not a national thing. Okay, because obviously Midlands REIA is made in South Carolina. Okay, if you say, how would I do this in Georgia or North Carolina or neighboring states? You know, I can't tell you much there, and I don't know too many people here who can. Okay, unless you. Have you guys branched out over there?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Anyway. An annual membership is $125 a year for one person, $200 for a couple. And you get logins to the website members area and ongoing support, okay, for that year. Now, as long as we're talking about that, okay, have we passed around that basket? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, so I guess towards the end of the meeting, is it okay if you draw out a winner, Sarah? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is courtesy of Sarah Mitchell. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, a few announcements. Oh yeah, for those who are members, okay, there's an updated lease agreement now. Now, up until I added this term here, okay, that's not yet tested in court. I'm pretty sure it's going to go through court as well, though, okay? Because I'll put in some pretty goofy things and I've evicted on them, and the magistrates have had to evict on my goofy terms, okay? This one here is basically saying the residents, I have residents, they have like 4, 5, 6 different cell phone numbers. Which one do I use, okay? So this here requires them to keep me up to date with their main cell phone number, if you will. So I'm getting tired of dealing with this mess, okay? I just dealt with that. So I'm going to try this in
Can't
court.
find you, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, or they make an excuse. Oh, that's not my right cell phone. That's the old one. Yeah, so now, I'll put this in here, so I'm going to try evicting on that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Now, don't you get tired of it? Now, this is one of my most powerful lease terms, okay? In South Carolina, if you don't have the tenant agree to this, okay? In South Carolina, if a tenant defaults on rent or some other default of lease, okay, you have to give them a 5-day notice to make things right before you can file the eviction. However, if you put this term in your lease, okay, it says here, you know, if you default on a lease, whether it's not paying rent or something, okay, we can file the next day. That's probably my best control with tenants right in there, okay? So anyway, if you don't have this in your lease, whatever lease you're using, you want to consider putting it in there. Okay, please check our calendar of events regularly on our website, okay? I actually have to update we have every Wednesday morning, 9 to 10, there's an entrepreneurs meeting downtown in Cottontown on Sumter Street, and I have to update that. I haven't put that on there yet, but it will be.
When is it?
It's a 9 to 10 Wednesday morning. It's a place called Noble Warehouse, and I'll show you updates on Sumter Street. Will you be in town, Ricardo?
When?
Wednesday.
It's every Wednesday?
It's every Wednesday.
Not this one, I've catch next week.
If you're in town, we gotta hit that vegan place. I was telling you about that Good Love Cafe.
Good luck.
Yeah. Have you been?
Yeah, I've been a couple.
Maybe, okay, well, we can go to the other one. So, let me know, okay, what do we need to? Anyway, as I was mentioning, 1 Million Cups meets every Wednesday, 9 to 10. I will put that on the calendar of events at the Noma Warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Cottontown. Now, the next meeting is this Wednesday. It's actually the first meeting after, you know, the Christmas and New Year break. Now, the person talking, now this is not necessarily just real estate, okay? the person talking has a strudel shop, right? And so this should be pretty interesting. How's he converting this from basically family type stuff to mass produced, and how's he marketing and stuff like that? Anything marketing I want to know about. Marketing, especially negotiations too. Palmetto Real Estate Pros radio show every Friday morning from 9 to 10. This is by Palmetto Real Estate Group. Okay, they're on route, the Augusta Highway. But anyway, Chad and Larry Jordan are true investors. Okay, I remember I do deliveries for Meals on Wheels, and I saw a sign that said seller finance. It was actually, I think it was a lease option actually. And so I called the number. It was Chad Jordan. This guy's a broker in charge. Most real estate agents, most licensed real estate agents, especially brokers in charge, are afraid to do creative stuff because they might get in trouble with their license. Chad does it. Okay, so anyway. Every Friday morning, you can listen online. Just go to palmettorealestatepros.com, okay? Or you can go on your radio if you're driving your car, 100.7 or 1470 AM, all right? Next show is, of course, this Friday. So they bring on guest speakers and whatnot. It's a really good radio show. Again, please check our calendar of events. Now, creative real estate, the way Midlands REIA is we teach you the different tools you can put into your toolbox. Okay? So a normal deal, like in the case of the lowball deal that got Miss Kimberly blackballed from that one lady. Okay? So, see, if I was dealing directly with her, I might try to propose something creative. Now, she still may not take it. It doesn't sound like she's motivated to sell it. Okay? But still, you can always try. Okay? But I've done every one of these techniques except for a land contract. I've never done a land contract. But I've been able to pull the tools out that I need to make.
What's prehab?
Yeah, well, a prehab.
What's that?
That's just fixing up a little bit and then passing off to the next guy to complete the fix.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually make pretty good money off of that.
Awesome.
And,
Is that what most of those like on Zillow, if it's like kind of started, or is that like deals went south essentially? I mean, is that a prehab situation when you see those?
it
or is that-
depends. Okay, like if I'm gonna you're talking about failed rehabs. And I've noticed there's a number of those around.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
If you can find a failed rehab, in fact, we walked through one. Was it yesterday?
You like those good ones, man?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. These two love failed rehabs. I mean, that's, oh, man. Anyway, so, but a prehab, for someone like me, okay, prehab might be, okay, maybe just, clean up the yard a bit,
Yeah.
maybe fix some of the beam siding or something, just
You
pass
just
on
don't want to
the-
make it look as bad as it did look in this
Exactly,
other. Yeah.
exactly. Make it.
It's a half a rehab.
Yeah. And it's, make it presentable, more presentable, a little more curb appeal. Okay, anyway, so that's the whole purpose of this organization, is to give you those extra tools other than just like, a normal realtor will say, oh, you can make an offer if you want. Well, that's fine and dandy, but.
What's your best one, Bob?
Which one?
Which one you like the best?
I like the subject twos. I really
Subject
do.
twos.
Yeah, does everyone know what a subject two is? It's an informal loan assumption. Okay, I'm sure you know what it is. Informal loan assumption, yeah.
Yeah, you just basically just pay off the person's mortgage.
Yeah, the person is basically deeding you the house and leaving the mortgage in their name. Now, I know a lot of people are going to think, who the heck would do that? Whoa, you'd be surprised. So, anyway.
Do those usually come from someone just defaulting on their loan, or they can't make the payment and they're just trying to get out of it in a quick sense?
Lots of times they are in pre-foreclosure. Before, a while back, when I was building up my, and I use the term loosely, rental portfolio, divorces were actually the rooted source, because, they hate each other, they want to leave the past behind, the house is usually in pretty good shape. And so usually, lots of times, the house is leveraged out, you just can't cash wholesale or cash rehab.
It just don't be like enough meat on the bone to really flip it.
Would it go up on the MLS essentially if it's subject to, or is that a deal that happens before? Because I see something on Zillow right now, it's a short-term turnkey, because I'm in the short-term space essentially, but it's a turnkey and they're saying it's subject to, but it's on the MLS, which is weird. That it seems like it would be an off-market deal.
No, you could the person who got it as a subject to just listed it.
Oh, okay.
So you know that you about to get a subject to a deal that's under subject to. So basically, when you listen to MLS, you got to state everything that's going on with the particular property. So
Okay,
that don't
just the
mean
disclosure and
it's just saying this is a subject to property that you're gonna buy, just letting you know ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a lot, the vast majority of realtors either won't understand or do not want to do subject twos, so they wonder how I get paid, okay? And a lot of the people, when you buy subject twos from, their houses really can't be listed, there's generally not enough equity to pay a commission. You know, so that's where creative stuff comes in. Okay, now, is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, at our last meeting in December, we covered fishing for motivated sellers and finding deals. If you recall, I was showing how to find, in my opinion, find the sellers first and then back into the deals is, in my opinion, the better way to find good deals, okay? So we were going to continue with our module of teachings, if you will, but Eddie, Desmond, Ricardo, Jay, Yallo, you know, yeah, these guys kindly, since they're in town looking at deals also, they kindly offered their time. And to be fair, Ricardo and Desmond do have a monthly mentoring program. And I'm usually very leery about recommending any mentoring programs. These guys, I will wholeheartedly recommend them because they're not those people that scrape stuff off the internet and sell you mentoring. These guys are doing it, okay? Anyway, we'll continue our teaching modules after these gentlemen speak tonight. Next month we'll go back to our teaching modules, how to compile the pertinent information we need to be able to make an offer or say kick that offer to the curb. Also we'll cover some numbers and negotiations. Okay? That'll be next month, not this month. Now, for tonight, okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Kim.
I normally would have.
Can you, excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you go back to that last slide, please? Can you go back to the last slide, please? Thank you.
Okay, anyway,
It's actually 400K plus, but we don't want to get robbed in here tonight.
oh, is 400K?
Just this year, right?
Okay, 2021.
Yeah, 400.
400,000.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks, it's 400,000.
Yeah, don't get us robbed.
Okay. My bad.
Wait, now what is permit?
But Bob, we run off net. We don't run off like
Oh, okay.
grow, like people like to run off gross. They be like, oh, I made 6 million, 7 million, but you know, we run off net. That's like
How much you said 900? That's all you drive.
that's after everything. That's after, you know.
Okay, so your net's 400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd easily say your gross is 900.
Yeah.
Gross is millions.
Okay. Now deals. Oh yeah, deals is probably 900.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I'm not a total liar.
Yeah, I read it wrong. So yeah, it probably is 900.
Okay.
It probably more than that.
You know, okay, I'm sorry, Eddie. So anyway, also we have Jackie Holiday, Jay. In fact, Jay has done over 40 wholesales. He has an interesting story as well. 7 rentals bought creatively, subject to, okay? That's why I like that model so much. You don't have to, you have to use money, it just doesn't have to be your money. Wade Sabina, okay? You know, the funny thing is, I met Eddie. Eddie doesn't remember this, but the way I met Eddie was I saw a house that
I do remember it. I left my thing and you called me because you found
it was
you're an
a
honest
nice
person.
metal contractor's clipboard, okay? And I said, dang, this is nice. I should this. And you know how you have that little devil?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you can't steal. You know, it's the little devil. Nah, just take it, screw that guy. So it turns out I ended up calling every, you know, I figured, hey, this poor guy might need the, you know, the invoices.
Information in it,
Yeah. So I ended up calling every card in there. I think I hit Patty. I hit his wife Patty, I think. Okay, we've been friends ever since. Okay, so anyway, honesty does pay off. Okay? So anyway, Eddie is the top, in my opinion, the top rehab contractor and an investor here in the Midlands. Okay, I would not trust anyone else except for Eddie. Now,
Thank you, Bob. You're
Now-
the
now you have. Now the thing is, you've heard, if you want to be successful, model yourself and do what successful people have done. So I'm trying to free out from these guys. How do I go to prison? I want to start.
Oh, Bob.
Eddie, you want to start with this one?
Well, go ahead. I can talk from right here. My parole officer said I can't stand in front of people. Can you click for me? Because you're better at that than I am. We were talking about this coming year, and people are always saying how hard this business is. You can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I know people in this group that are knocking it out the park. These gentlemen, I see Jay over there, Jay and Shandi. They do good. Don't be shy. Hold your hand up so people can know you. You talk to him too. He in 2 states that I know. Yeah, so he's going international soon. But me and Bob we're trying to come up with a good subject for adversity. First of all, did we say Happy New Year already?
No.
Happy New Year. Next year. Oh, there you go. And I said 2 gentlemen, and then we brought Jay in. He's a gentleman too. I don't.
That's you?
That's me.
Okay, all right.
Don't they look like me?
A little.
All right, I got the wrong shirt on. But I met each of these individuals. I run into a lot of people who claim to be. They waste. I know day one. The minute I run into them, they don't know what they don't. I already waste my time. When they call me, they say, "Hey, you got time?" I say, "I'm booked for 8 months." Because I know they're not going anywhere, and then they fall off. They do. Like Sly said, 97% of the people fall off. You know why? They think this is easy. It's not hard, but you have to stick to it. When I first met this guy, that'd be 10 billion, he would be speaking first. I was a little intimidated.
No, man.
Because, well, you meet me, Suge Knight looking in the bed. I know why we became good friends, and then he brought Ricardo along. I said, man, these 2 are off the chain. But they closing deals. I was telling Bob, I said, yo, we got our members here, or people in Columbia saying we can't find no deals. And we got these guys, they stealing deals in their own backyard. I'll get mad. I'll get mad. I said, they're coming from Charleston and our backyard, getting on, and I'm talking about deals every day. He goes, hey, can you look at the house? Gee. So, and we've done 2 flips together. 2 flips. But that's how I met him. He's for real. He's the real deal. Anybody I point out to, and if I say they're the real deal, they do what they say. I know a lot of people, and Bob, I call them out in a minute. I'm from New York. If you say something I know ain't for real, don't say it in front of me. But I had a right to interject. Jay, I remember when Jay started. He started right here in this group. I remember, he ain't no squat. He didn't know what the front door looked like, I'm telling you. That man has gone on. He used to call me and didn't. Okay, let me tell you why I came to these people, because they didn't mind paying my fee to come look at the house. That's the #1 thing I look at. Because if you think I'm going to go shopping with you for free, no, don't call me. I'm going to tell you right now, don't call me. It takes my time, my gas. So the people that actually understand how it works, they value my time, which they do. Jay does too. And even to this very day, I still charge them. Because I know what they're making. I should go up on them. But this man right here, and I'm going to let them talk. His first deal took 11 months. He almost gave up. But he didn't. He kept going. And when he hit big the first one. I wish I had a first one like that. Because that would keep me going for a whole nother year.
Wow.
That's how big. He'll tell you. This is important. You got a lot of people, I call them the sheep, the ones that, nah, you ain't gonna make it, nah, no money. Be a lion. Don't worry about what the sheep say. I first heard this in prison, believe it or not. Because when I was getting ready to come out, people said, man, you screwed, you're a felon. You ain't gonna be able to get no builder's license. You ain't gonna be able to get anything from the state. Guess what? I said, no, I'm gonna get it. So you know what? I talked to the LLR. I said, I'm a convicted, I'm right out the gate. I want you to know I'm a convicted felon. This is what I did. Do I have a chance? And the lady says, you know what? I like your candor. submit for a review and we'll consider it.
Oh, that's right.
And I said, but are you sure I might get approved? She goes, because I didn't want to spend $175 for the application. And back then, I didn't have it like that. I was working for $8 an hour, fresh out of prison. But I got it. So, you know, don't believe what people say. You know, you can't do this. I got my builder's license, I got my home inspector license. Life is good. But I stayed the course. And that's what this means. Don't get rid of naysayers. People tell you that's not the people you want to hang around with. Hang around with people who lift you up.
That's right.
Not the ones that put doubt in your head.
All right, go ahead and preach.
What's the next one? There you go. This is the one. Tired? Go to bed early. You like Bob? Out of shape? Exercise more. That's Jake. He's always in the gym. Listen, don't have time. I hear people say, we ain't got no time. But I'll tell you what, they watch The Bachelor. They watch other shows. Not just women. Not just women. I can't think of no men's shows. I don't really watch TV. But if you decide what you want to do, you want to do this business, that's your focus. Stay the course. You ain't got time to sit around for 2 hours watching no TV show or, you know. That's the one-eyed electronic income reducer in my world. So while you watching it, you ain't making no money. You ain't even thinking of how to make money. Don't have money? Stop wasting it. We do waste money. Seems too complicated. Start small. Try. Join this group. Jay started small. All of these men started small. I started small. Don't have the knowledge? Join Bob's REIA. Now I want to say this. Bob likes to downplay the REIA. He always says, oh, there's other good REIAs. No, I've been around. Bob has got the best REIA because Bob actually wants everybody to succeed. Tim put up a post. He said, I want us all to be rich. I don't care who's first. See, these are the kind of people I want to be around. It ain't about them. It's about us. Bottom, that's self-explanatory. Stop making excuses. Decide you want to do this and then go 110% till you get your first deal. Once you get your first deal, you get your second. But I'm going to bring Tim and Ricardo up first, and they're going to talk a little about how they started. And if you got a few questions, when they get to a stopping point, ask them. And tell me if Tim don't look intimidating. Knock at your door. Hey, I want to buy your house. Yeah, okay, here. What do we want? Tim, Ricardo, please. Please give them a hand. How y'all doing? Okay. Oh, gosh. There you go. You can have that thing. There you go. Oh, that light. Yeah, don't get the light.
I got a big head. Y'all don't see nothing. I'm standing right there. How y'all doing? I'm Desmond Milligan, social media, I'm telling billions. Real estate investor, wholesaler. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. I also teach people and coach people how to wholesale and get into the real estate industry. I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now. Prior to being in real estate for the last 4 years, I did a decade in prison for drug trafficking marijuana, trafficking cocaine. Prior to that, I ran the streets my whole life. So that's before getting into real estate. Being in the streets is pretty much all I ever know. I've never had a job in my life. I don't have a diploma, never been to college. None of those things, right? So all I've ever known is street life until I went to prison. In March of 2009, I got sentenced to 10 years in prison, right, for drug trafficking, like I said. I've always been a reader, so when I got to prison, like I don't know if any of y'all in here have been to jail before, but you know you read. No, stop. If you ever been to jail, you know the first thing you try to do is you're trying to find God, right? So that's what I did. So I'm reading a whole bunch of religious books, but I'm trying to find whichever God can get me out first. Right? So I done read the Bible, the whole Bible 2 times, because I'm trying to find Jesus. I done went to the Quran, because I'm trying to find Muhammad. I'm just bouncing around studying everything, because I'm just trying to get myself together. About 2 years in, I read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Right? And the book just completely changed my mind. Changed my mindset, changed my life, changed the whole trajectory of where I was headed in life, right? The first time I read the book, I read it straight through. Beginning to end, just read the whole book straight through. I turned around the next day and started reading it again, right? Reading it again, taking notes out of it. And Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the book, he kept talking about how you can make money in real estate without money, how you can flip houses without using cash or credit. And I just kept saying, man, how can you do that? Right? So I just kept reading financial books. I ended up reading maybe 400 or 500 financial books while in prison. Taught myself the stock market, futures, options, just any type of financial instrument you can think of. I learned it. But I kept going back to this thing of flipping houses with no cash or credit. All right, so I just, like, man, I got to learn this. So I basically put everything else to the side, stock market, all the other stuff, and just strictly started concentrating on real estate. Right? Reading books until the day I came home from prison on September 1st, 2017. Right? I always talk about the karma of the drug game. Right? I'm a big believer in karma. And before I went to prison, I knew all the drugs I sold. Crack, cocaine, weed, you name it, I sold it. Right? I understand the families I ruined. I understand the families I destroyed. I remember the phone calls from wives calling me saying, can you please not sell my husband this anymore because he just spent our kids' Christmas money with you. He just spent our kids' birthday money with you. So I understand the pain, the drama, and the hardship I caused in other people's family. So the karma of that is, when I came home from prison, the women who I had children with were both strung out on drugs. I came home, no place to stay, no car, no money. He picked me up from prison, took me shopping and all of that.
Tell people that.
Yeah, standing right now. You know what I mean? But he picked me up from prison. I ain't have, I ain't have nothing. And my second day home, my kid's grandmother comes to me and say, Tim, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. She raised my girls for me 8.5 years while I was gone, and she was tired. So I couldn't say, no, I need you to keep them for a couple more months. Just let me get myself together. I couldn't say that, right? I had to get them. I had to get them instantly. 2 of them I got instantly. A year and a half later, I found out another one of my daughters was getting abused by her mom, and I had to get her too. So that left me raising 3 girls by myself while trying to build up this real estate thing, right? So coming home, like I said, I had kept reading about you can flip the houses with no cash or credit. You can flip houses with no cash or credit. But I never heard the term wholesaling. And none of the books I had ever read, I had never seen the term wholesaling. So coming home, I started going to all the free seminars you can find, any cheap ones you can find I was going to. And I even ran across some of the $50,000 ones. You know, of course, I ain't even have $500. $50,000 was just out of the question. But I did run across, those. And in these seminars, that's when I first heard the term wholesaling in the seminars. And they were saying that the best way to get started is just to drive around looking for vacant houses, right? So that's what I did. I ain't having the money. I'm driving around looking for vacant houses. Months and months go by. I'm driving around looking for vacant houses. I'm watching 4 or 5 hours of YouTube every day. I'm still reading the books. So, if any of y'all look at YouTube, you see different people doing it different ways. So YouTube is a great resource, but it'll have you all over the place. You know what I mean? So I'm buying Facebook ads, I done bought bandit signs, I'm riding around, I'm doing this, I'm trying to buy this, I'm just doing all kind of stuff and I'm all over the place, right? Month after month go by, I don't do a deal. I'm selling sneakers on the side just to try to get by, right? It really wouldn't need no money in it, but I'm just trying to get by because I'm just so determined not to go back to the streets. Right? I got 3 girls, mom's on drugs, I'm all they got, something happened to me, they have nothing. So I can't go back to the streets. That's not even an option, right? So I'm selling the sneakers. About 9 months in of me trying to do a deal, someone breaks into my car one night and steals all my stuff. Right? I got sweatsuits, I got sneakers, I got belts, handbags, and all kinds of things in there, and they take everything. Right? So I'm in Atlanta, and on the way back home from Atlanta, I get pulled over for speeding in Augusta. Right? Then as I'm closer to Columbia, one of my headlights go out.
Jesus.
So I said, damn, I ain't never come back to Atlanta. No. But seriously though, I made up in my mind right then. I said, you know what? For lack of a better word, I've been half-assing with this real estate thing. For the last 9 months, I've been selling sneakers, trying to do this, and just trying to do this. And you know, they say you chase 2 rabbits, you won't catch none of them. I mean, they both get away. So right then I made up my mind. I said, you know what? I ain't messing with these sneakers no more. I said a different word, but messing, I mean, you messing tonight, right? I ain't messing with those sneakers no more. It's strictly real estate. And I'm gonna make this thing happen, right? So for the next 2 months, I'm going driving around every day, almost every day. I lived in a little country town where the investors didn't really like it, so I used to have to drive an hour just to start my search. Drive around for 3 or 4 hours, then drive back an hour home, right? And I did that. 2 months later, a guy I was in prison with sends me an address, because I was posting on Facebook every day, send me addresses to vacant houses, I'll send you $500 if I buy the house. I had to say if I buy the house because I ain't having $500. So I had to wait. If it closed, then I give you the $500 on closing. You know what I mean? So I'm posting every day, send me addresses. So a dude I was locked up with sent me an address for a house close to Clemson University. So he sends me the house. I look into it. The house is worth like 120-something thousand, and I couldn't get dude on the phone. So everybody who I can't get on the phone, I send them little yellow letters. Y'all probably know about the yellow letters. I send them yellow letters. And I'm gonna tell you how crazy this is, right? How broke I was. I had a second phone just for wholesaling, for real estate. I didn't even realize the phone that I got cut off. So when I wrote dude a letter to see if he was interested in selling the house, he actually was trying to call me. And my phone was off. So he writes me a letter. He writes me a letter saying, yes, I do want to sell the house. Could you please give me a call? I've been trying to call you.
Right.
So I called the man back, right? So he was like, yeah, the house has been vacant for 20 years. I bought it. I had a stroke right after I bought it. I had no chance. I ain't have a chance to do nothing with it, fix it up, nothing. Yeah, I want to sell it. $20,000 is what he was asking for the house. Right? House worth $125, something like that. So I'm like, man, I ain't got no money. House 4 hours away. So I called my trusty lender. Bro, I need some money. I gotta drive 4 hours away to go see this house. I'm broke. So, and not even my lender, because bro gives me the money. Like, gave me the money. It wasn't no him giving back. He gave me, I didn't even know what he gave me. I stopped by one of his stores. He handed me the money. I jump in the car to go see the house. I look, he gave me $200, right? So I take that, go see the house. I get up there, I'm looking at the house. The house so junky, y'all, I can't even believe it. It's so junky, man. The house old, it's junky, it hasn't been lived in for 20 years. So I'm telling him, man, I'm like, man, I can do 10,000. He's like, no, I want 20. I said, man, 15,000. No, I want 20. So I'm like, man, bro, 4 hours. I gotta just lock it in under contract, you know what I mean? So I put it under contract for 20,000. Y'all, I was so scared about this house. I asked for 6 months to close on it. And he gave me 6 months. He really gave me 6 months on this contract, right? And that's just how scared I was. I'm like, man, I know I would be able to flip this house. I get back home. That was a Sunday evening or something like that. That Monday, I don't even try to sell the house. I'm just sitting on it like, man, I know. So Tuesday, I get up, because I'm broke. So I say to myself, man, I got to sell this house. Yeah. So I get on Craigslist, and I start doing little things to find buyers, and I send the house out. Now I got it under contract for 20. I put it out for 30. Right? Just trying to make $10,000 off the house real quick. And I get in contact with a guy like a couple days later. He asked to go see the house. He goes sees it. He calls me that evening. He was like, you want $30,000 for this house right here? I'm like, yes, sir. He said, you come here right now, I'll give you the money. So 2 days later, fast forward 2 days later, I go up there, sign a contract with him. They make $10,000. My first deal, 11 months in. Right. The second deal was actually the one you talked about. The second one I did was actually.
That's how he sucked me in.
Yeah, so I got him. The second one was a $65,000 deal. A house I got under contract for $64,000, and we ended up selling it for $129,000. But after that first deal, I did the $10,000 on that first one. In the next 7 months, I made $112,000, all doing the same strategy, riding around, looking for vacant houses. That does get a round of applause. I ain't gonna lie. Damn. But anyway, I can talk forever, right? So I'm gonna keep this short. I started coaching people about 1.5 years ago. Right, I started teaching other people. The first person I actually taught, I taught him for free, right? Because he just kept asking me so many questions. He kept asking me questions. So I just answering the questions. He has to come to my house one day because we kind of grew up together. So he has to come to the house, taught him. We sat for about 2 hours, taught him. Another day he came over, sat for about 2 hours, taught him. And he goes, I ain't gonna say what county he went to, but he goes out to a certain county and he just starts riding around looking for vacant houses, right? It takes him 70 days. From what I taught him, 70 days later, he does his first deal, he made $5,000. He does another one the next week and makes another $5,000. And he does another one 2 weeks after that and makes $15,000. So his first 90 days in, he made $25,000 off of what I taught him for free, right? So once he did that, I'm like, oh, I can get paid for this. I started, that hustler brain kicking. I'm like, oh, I just made 25 grand. That ain't getting nothing. Like, I can teach this. You know what I mean? So I started, and let me just finish saying about him. With him, I stopped hearing from him after 3 months. He was good. He was doing it. A few months later, I'm like, damn, I wonder if he's still even doing it. Ended up speaking to him some months later. Found out he was still doing it. In his first 11 months, he made over $100,000, quit his job, and now he's doing real estate full time. And we followed him to that county he went to too. We got us some money out there too. Yeah, we got us a couple dollars out there this year too. But anyway, I do offer a coaching program where I teach people how to get into the real estate industry by wholesaling. I really make it a lot easier for you to find the houses, find the owners, what you need to say to the owners, how to fill out contracts. I show you how to negotiate prices with people without even talking. Yeah, don't even.
Suge Knight technique.
Suge Knight. That's when the Suge Knight come out for real. Suge Knight come out for real. But it's just, you gotta be in my group for me to do that. But I do teach people, I do one-on-one coaching, if you're interested in that. I have a group also, Billionaire Minds Academy, that you can join. My group is $197 to join, and then it's $97 a month if you want to stay after that. But I do a Zoom class. I do 3 Zoom classes a month. One of the classes is a book of the month because I'm heavy on reading. I still read about 40 to 50 books every year, and I'm big on that. So if you join my group, you got to be ready, prepared to read, and we have one class where we discuss the book every month. That's $197 to join, $97 a month to continue. And we get to it, and my students do deals. I have several students in the past year that have done multiple deals. All right. We actually got somebody in the room, I ain't gonna point them out, but we actually got somebody in the room that we've been coaching, both of us was kind of coaching him, and we flipped 2 houses today right here in Columbia and profited $20,000.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, all this is no money, no risk. If that's something you want to learn, tap into, then please let me know. I know all of y'all already know about real estate, but if you're looking for the simplest, what I deem as the simplest way to get started, then I can show you a strategy, the strategy.
It's simple now, but it's...
I ain't gonna say it's easy, but it's simple. If you do the work.
Yeah, if you do the work, yeah, you do the work.
And it's basically just riding around finding the houses, contacting the people. But like I said, I show you an easier way to find the houses. I show you an easier way to find the owners, what to say to the owners, filling out the contracts, negotiate with them without talking. Everything. Just as long as you finding the houses and contacting the people, I got your back on everything else.
What was the name of your group again?
Billionaire Minds Academy. I got the website already up, but I'm still getting the work on, so I ain't got all that done yet. But it is up if you want to check it out. But it's Billionaire Minds Academy. I'm Tim Billions on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. LinkedIn is Desmond Milligan. But I'm mostly on Facebook the most, so you can find me on Facebook. If you're interested in the group, just DM me at any time, just let me know, and we can discuss it. The one-on-one coaching, I won't give out the price. You got to DM me if you want to know the price of the one-on-one coaching, because I just don't work with everybody. You know, some people not a good fit, some people not coachable, and some people I just don't like the attitude. So, you know what I mean? So I work with everybody. But you can definitely still jump in the group though. I'm gone.
I'm going to just talk a little. You know, anybody got any questions, I'm gonna answer.
Okay.
So we won't hold Bob them too long. Y'all got any questions about anything specific in real estate,
I still stand.
wholesaling, anything?
Do you only do wholesaling, or do you do all forms of real estate?
Right now it's mostly wholesaling. We did do 2 flips this past year with Eddie.
I mean, it just it varies on the deal. You know, we might wholesale it. You know, every deal is different. You know, it's according to what we got going on. If we got a flip or 2 going on, and right now we just want to make 10 or 20,000 right quick, we might, you know, wholesale this one while we got these 2 flips going on. Like right now, we don't have no flips going on. So currently, we probably gonna get 2 or 3 flips going on, but then we still pursue, you know, wholesaling just to keep, you know, money turning while it's going on. Because obviously, when you know when doing flips, there's holding time. And a lot of people don't factor in holding time. They say, well, look, I know I can make $100,000 on the end, but they ain't know it takes 6 months. Now you got to take 6 months and divide that by 100,000. I might have found 6 houses, but then that 6-month period and made $20,000 per house and made 120 grand. So it's like, you know, every deal is different. Every property is different according to where it's at, how much money in it, how much rehab, you know. So, you know, and that's one thing y'all need to understand too, you know. You got to kind of analyze your deals basically based off all the numbers. That's the number one thing. I feel like the first number you need to know is the ARV. That's the number one number. You have to know what can this house sell for after its rehab. So I know everybody pretty much heard of ARV. I mean, you can use Zillow for a good rule of thumb, but it's always good to have a, you know, a realtor, somebody who can dive deep in the MLS and give you, you know, full comps. So it's a good start from everybody coming out, you know, getting into the rooms of where everybody's at, because this is where you're going to get the information and the knowledge you need, you know, if you're going to succeed in this game. They already said there's only 3% people survive. We got about 30 people in here, so that means not even one person probably going to still continue doing this. The numbers is real low, but the more people drop out, you got to look at it, it's a better chance for you to score a deal. So there's so many deals all around out there, it's unbelievable.
So with the ARV though, so all right, so that's you do about a 70% rule?
That determines the property as well. So typically people use the 70% rule, but sometimes certain areas in Columbia, you might have to go 75, you might have to go 80. Now if you go into a property and it got like very, very minimal repairs, I'm talking about, you know, A&E number $5,000 or $10,000, you might have to go up a little bit past that 70% rule, because now you might potentially lose the deal because, you know, like Bob said earlier, you know, we got some hedge fund buyers in town, we got people in town that pay more money. So now you're gonna have to find, when you start going up into that 80% and down, you know, I would say don't go over 80% in the beginning, you wanna make sure you got a strong cash buys list. So that's, you know, teaming up with Bob or searching for yourself and finding you some quality buyers once you start going over at 70%. 70% is the typical rule, but that's getting very phased out with so many new people stepping into the game. We bumping up 70, 75, sometimes even 80. It's just, or you might not get no deals. You know? Any other questions?
Yeah. When you do a contract, how much time do you get to close on average?
60 to 90 days.
60 to
At
90
least 60.
days?
Yeah, sometimes I ask for 90, but at least 60.
At least 60.
But if you're new, like how he said he was on his first deal, he tried to get 6 months.
Yeah. I wouldn't try to do that.
I wouldn't recommend it, but
I
I
would try to do 6 months.
try to get 90.
Yeah, try to get
90 is a good number. Once you start getting in the 120, you know, on up, your seller might get a little shaky. The only way to really
90 sometimes they get shaky.
90 sometimes they get shaky.
If you got a good deal, you can get it sold in 30 days. So
Yeah.
you ain't got to, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But at least 60 days.
Because it all goes back to the numbers. If you know these numbers are stellar, and you know you got your ARV, on site, you call, give him a couple $100 to come out and nail down your exact repair cost. You know all your exact numbers on what this property can sell for. Then now, you know, you got the balls in your corner. You can offer less days because you know it's a done deal.
Yeah.
If you kind of shaky on the deal just a tad, and you try to extend it just a little bit further, but you know, 90 might be like your threshold.
90,
you know?
90, you really don't want to push past 90.
What's your strongest avenues, I guess, if you could list 2 for finding motivated sellers?
Yeah.
Your strongest 2 avenues that you go to find motivated sellers.
Driving
What are
is the best.
they? Okay.
Yeah, driving
Well, past that.
Filling an absentee owner list.
Okay.
Absentee owner.
Now, if you don't mind, what I like to do, give Jay some time.
Yeah,
And if-
yeah,
If
yeah,
y'all
yeah.
got some questions, gang up on
Yeah,
me
yeah,
when it's said and done.
We
We'll
just
have
answering
time
questions.
when it's done there.
I'm just answering questions. So.
And there's a, and they're gonna get y'all both, hopefully
It's
all
a
3 of y'all, cause they have different strategies. Now, how many remember when Jay, any original members here?
No. Yeah, the problem with
He's all grown up now.
I look at
Hey,
you.
how you doing?
Hey, well, hey, I started here about what, 3 years ago,
Yeah?
give or take. Well, I guess everybody knows no secret. I've been in prison, so you know, we go ahead and get that out of the way. But just to fast forward from just starting out, when I first started this group, he can tell you I didn't know nothing. You know, I was working, driving a truck, did not want to do that no more. And yeah, 18 months, and I was just tired of doing that. And with me starting out, didn't have any clue or anything. So when I first came to the first group, this guy Crandon, I don't think Crandon's here tonight, but Crandon did introduce me. He said, "Hey man, you know you could do some real estate." He gave me this speech about not having no money or anything. I'm like, "Are you serious, man?" Like, so I didn't really even, I really didn't believe him at first. I'm like, but being as though I hate that truck, I'm like, man, let me go take a chance and go down here and see. But so starting out, came to the meetings, started networking. And I don't care what anyone says, this is the best group hands down, that I've ever been to. You know, this group changed my life. I mean, just being honest, just straight up. From me starting out, I think it took me about 4 months from just networking. The first person I ever met was Eddie. You know, I talked to him, and I kind of just went around and just started networking with different people. And say 4 months, getting in, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance. So I bought some signs for 99 bucks. And this phone, matter of fact, I got out of jail, a guy gave me a phone from Walmart. He was like, yo man, here, you know, what's up? So I took the same phone, and I still got it to this day. Even though I do got an iPhone, but I still keep this phone, because this reminds me of, you know, how I started. You know, but for the people who got a job or, you know, still gotta work and what have you, you can still do this, you know. For me, starting out, you know, trying to work, then do this, I always came to the meetings. You know, like I said, I took $99 for the sign. It's the same Walmart phone. I used this phone. I didn't even try to Google Voice and nothing. I just had it straight up to the phone. And a tank of gas. Went out, put out signs, started, you know, writing little letters at first. And it really, I think for maybe about 200 bucks, or less than 200 bucks with a tank of gas and stuff. My first year of me wholesaling, I did 6 figures. The very first year, you know. I started out, like I said, I had a job, you know, but just coming here, going to the meetings, networking, blowing Bob phone, I'm calling Eddie, me calling Eddie, and you know, some of the other guys that were in here. I mean, I just grind, but you got to be consistent. You know, whether it's 4 months, a year, or whatever, stay consistent, and just if you do it for 2 hours a day. You know, if you're doing something you don't like, imagine you got to do that for 10 or 12 hours a day. So, you know, you got to find some sort of avenue. So when I first went out, I started out maybe 2 or 3 days, and I just stayed with doing 2 or 3 days. My very first deal, you know, I made $2,000. So I'm like, damn, okay, this shit does work. You know,
That's what grand you ever made in your life.
I was like, wow, you know. So after that deal, that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna keep going. Then my second deal, I made, I think it was $10,000. I quit the job. I ain't doing that no more. You know, I quit the job. And then now, I was saying doing it every day. I would go out, drive for dollars, I would put out signs, and I took my time, I would write letters. So now that I'm probably was doing less work, but I was getting more money and the results were coming in. So like I said, over about 2.5 years, I probably wholesale over 40 houses. You know, just from coming, I mean, to this group. The only thing I think we did was workshops. And I think Tony Young was there. And I believe my second year, I did another 6-figure. And that's when I ended up, you know, matter of fact, me and Eddie, we did our first flip. You know, and now I've accumulated over 7 rental properties, which I hadn't paid a dime for. It was through sub 2, which I love. You know.
Can you give us an example of how you like find the sub 2 and go through the whole acquiring process?
Well, one example, for instance, I had a sign. I stuck it out by this.
What you saying on the sign?
Well, on my sign they got J-Buy houses. So I kind of like with the marketing thing. I try to like make it to where it's more personal.
So you're not marketing the sign to looking for a seller find or looking for an owner?
No, it was just a sign that I put out. My very first one I put out. And this is the great thing about the seller find. I went to the lady's house. So I went in the house and the lady had she had the like some sort of I want to say trash can bag or something over all the windows. And this was in a real beautiful neighborhood. So I came in, she handed me the keys. She said, God sent me to her. Greatest thing that ever happened.
And she called you off the sign?
She called me off the sign and told me God sent me there. She gave me the keys. And I took the keys. She said, listen, somebody's watching me in this house. But what happened was her husband died. She was an older lady, and I guess, you know, it was one of those things. But that being said, the house was really nice. There was nothing wrong with it. She said, I just need $10,000 to be able to get out of the house.
Move on,
You know, wasn't even foreclosed or anything. This is just this is the easiest one I ever had.
Did you have, what made you decide to use the subject to exit strategy?
Well, this is the thing. What happened was because I couldn't buy the house whole because at the time it had equity, but it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been under the 70% rule, and you know it wouldn't not. But now because prices are up, that house that was at $77,000 now is worth $170,000.
So,
you know,
so
now,
it wouldn't make a good wholesale deal.
Yeah, not at the time. But the thing about it was when I first get this house, because I know I'm like, no one's gonna give me because what it was, because it doesn't appreciate the value of the house. It doesn't appreciate so much from 3 years ago to now. You know, so I ended up finding someone, did a sub 2, did a land contract, which I learned in here. You know,
So you did all that on your first year?
No, my first sub 2 did,
Okay.
off the sign. You know, the most money I ever spent was $200. I wasn't down here, like I said, you have to spend a whole bunch of money to get started in here. It's just being consistent.
She called you, she wanted
So
to sell
God
out.
sent you, and what happened?
Yeah, I want to hear the rest too.
Yeah, God sent you.
She said, God sent me to the house. She gave me the keys. She said, I got to get out of here. She said, I need $10,000 for the house. I mean, I had to really do no work to talk to. She said that I need $10,000 for the house. She said, I'm quite sure you can sell the house, do whatever you want with it, but just make sure I get $10,000. I said, okay. Did the contract that same day. She left the house, never came back. She said she took whatever she was going to take out the house. And I helped her move her rest of her stuff out of the house.
You ain't give her the $10,000 to get $10,000 to the lawyer.
No. Yeah. No. She
don't give her
no. Do not give no one no money. She just told me on her way out of the house that she
That's all
just
she
wants
needed.
$10,000 to move, and she never came back to the house. You know, on that particular deal.
Yeah, never, whenever we call it earnest money deposit, never give nobody no cash money out of your pocket. All transactions must go through the lawyer to make sure there's no liens or nobody who has no interest in the property, like somebody that died or whatever. So you want to always run it through the lawyer. Some situations we have gave them like $1,000 or $1,500 because they kind of needed it. But you know, if you got the money to that was a good fee. And we kind of listed it in the contract, but you know it's risky, so we don't recommend doing none of that in the beginning. As you get seasoned, you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, please don't, because see, I had to go to the lawyer, you know, get the contract. Matter of fact, I was supposed to give her $10. She got out of the house and even took the $10.
You did a regular purchase and sale agreement, or how you do that?
I did a sub 2 where I substitute the property. I mean, I ended up getting the property deed over to me. But I ended up having a buyer, someone who wanted a house that was renting, was saying, hey, because I started putting the signs out. You get some people that want to
Put the
call
signs
you.
up to find a buyer too.
No. You know, when you put out signs, you start marketing yourself. And eventually, once you start doing it, people gonna start calling you based off your sign. Hey, do you have a house that I could buy? Or you know, so that's kind of how it went for me. So I get a lot of calls from people like, hey, you know, I need a house. Can you sell me a house? You know,
So that subject to deal, you still own that property?
yeah.
And did you subject to it out to somebody else, or you got somebody renting?
Well, I did a
Long-term
land contract
lease.
where they doing a lease with an option to buy, but they gave me the $10,000 to pay for that.
Correct.
I told them, you know, that's what I had to have. So
But that way, any repairs, anything on them?
yeah, the house was in fine condition. All I did was just pull the bags off, but that was just that one. Now a couple of my kids.
What is the 10 grand? Is that a down payment or what is that?
That was
that
in the
was-
land contract. That land contract paid the 10,000, right?
Yeah,
Right.
the land contract.
That's what
But
paid the
your
down
profit
payment
was
for it.
what? You listed it for 20?
He's renting in a
He's
long-term
renting.
investment. He's getting cash
I'm
flow.
getting cash flow every month. I get $300 off the house every month. Off
He
the
paid
property.
a mortgage.
Okay, just about the 10 grand. You saying the land contract paid the 10 grand? Like,
So the renter, the tenant that
Right,
went in
so if I
there,
wanted
is
He's
to
paying
the
buy-
owner.
Yeah.
It's
like
like,
what is the
rent to
10 grand
own.
considered like a down payment or is it like a
I think
deposit or?
Yeah, well, it's a down payment.
He got that from the buyer, from the
From the
renter.
rent.
Yeah, from the renter.
So basically, if I say, well, look, it's 130, now they owe 120.
correct.
That's what he's trying to say.
Well, they have
basically,
equity,
yeah.
But that being said, all right, the house at the time, I think it's because I owe it's $77 now. It was like maybe $10,000, but I added $30,000 onto the house.
To purchase.
Yeah, to the purchase price. First they had to pay interest on the house. So they had maybe, I think I'm at like, if I'm not mistaken, I think of that house I got like 14% interest with. But their credit's all messed up. They just had cash and just need a house.
14%, yeah, that's
I
good.
got
Big money,
a
yeah.
quick question on that.
Yeah, please.
What kind of land was it sitting on?
Oh, land, oh, this is in the subdivision.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in the subdivision.
So was it a gated neighborhood?
Well, I got a house in the gated neighborhood off a letter that I sent, but not that particular deal. That was just the one that off the sign, based off the sign. And all I'm saying is, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money.
Okay,
The most money-
how do you make an offer to them? Like how do you go to, yes ma'am, I'll pay you to come up for the house, but I'm not gonna give you no money and I want to take over your papers. How do you present that?
Well, I usually listen to the seller.
That's right.
Because
But
each
that's
deal gonna be
salespeople,
different.
right?
Some gonna be difficult than others. So sometimes if you just listen, they're gonna tell you what it is that they want.
You can eat off that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't go demanding what I need to get done. No,
Mhm.
I come to try to listen and try to find a solution. So that's when you're doing any deal. I think you need to find a solution versus
There you go.
chasing and saying, oh, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna get 10, 20.
That's
No,
right.
just listen, find out how can you help them. And in the
That's right.
process of helping them, you're gonna get your money. You know what I'm
And you're
saying?
helping them.
Yeah, and you're gonna help them. So when you put that first, the money gonna come.
There you go.
Granted, you ain't doing it for free, so they already gonna know, listen, I gotta make something.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they just wanna know that you're gonna take care of them and make sure that whatever it is that you say, you're gonna do. That being said, I ended up doing a deal where a guy, he called me off a sign. This again, like I said, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Usually with the signs, if you consistently put these signs out, you're gonna get at least one or two people that gonna call you monthly. And all you need is really, for real, if you get 5 people a year that you're gonna make money off these signs, you're gonna make more money than you ever, because those gonna be the ones that's desperate.
You still put the sign?
Yeah, I never stopped putting signs.
How many you put up?
I put up signs at least now because I bought a car lot. I do a part-time now to where I kind of scale back, to where I put out signs at least once a week. Usually before.
How many?
I would say it varies because see, this is the thing. You want to do enough to say you don't want to make it a grind to where you can't continue to do the same thing every day. So for me, I try to do an hour now a day.
Just putting up signs?
Just put up signs.
You put them up yourself?
Yeah, I put them up myself. Well, granted, I do pay somebody sometimes to help me out now, but before I didn't. You know, so but I still put out signs an hour every Friday myself. But I also hired someone to just help me put out signs.
Friday, you put them on Friday so they can last through the weekend.
Yeah, so they don't
Somebody take them
late.
down.
But the good thing about it is you want to take them down because somebody who's lazy won't go put them up once every 2 or 3 months. Their sign's gone. Yours is gonna constantly be there. So that's why I do them every week. So that way when they are taken out, I go back, yeah, my mine's right back up. So they kind of stay versus the one that's up and they're gone and then you never see them.
come back.
You never come back again. Yes,
I
sir.
got a quick question for the crowd with Bob Blessing. Is Bob here? Oh, I was hoping he wasn't. But anyway, all I was going to go over was load-bearing walls and how to install them.
You ain't went yet?
But no, because if the crowd wants to hear more from you guys, it's good with me. We can do the load-bearing walls another time.
No, you need to drop that T on this too. They need to hear it all. Come on, Miss Daddy. Come on.
Yes, sir.
I got one quick question. Have you ran into somebody at a house that is going to get evicted?
Evicted?
And have you run across something like that?
What do you mean, foreclosed?
Yeah, foreclosure? Well, I do foreclose also, because it's a foreclosure list you can get from different sites.
Well, you know, they got, some of them get to the point, they got like too many days to get out the house. Which one of them sites?
Oh, Realty Track.
Huh?
Realty Track. It's a
Realty
great
Track.
site. You know, if anybody, if they got foreclosure lists, you know, you know.
No, but I'm talking about get one.
So have you ever had a problem with the bank?
Hold on, he's not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
You seen the houses with the little thing they close, they got the little things on the door, eviction, notice like that? You ever ran across something like that?
Yeah, that, it depends on what stage it's in. Because if it's a good house, and if you could save it, but if it's to that point, it's kind of hard, because I've had a house where I had a cash buyer that was ready to buy the house, but the lawyer said that they wanted all the money. They weren't willing to work with it. That being said, I've got a house now that I did under subject to, where, you know, through this pandemic, where, you know, the COVID thing, they couldn't evict a person, so I worked with the lady. Matter of fact, like how he said, and I don't advise anybody to do this, but because I didn't gamble and made some money, I took a chance to, the woman said, listen, give me $500, and I'm gonna leave the house, because she said she was gonna move to Texas. So I had to end up doing everything from remote, like the, you know, so that, but she had to leave, because she literally had to leave the house. So I just finally got the house through writing the, trying to get it to where they put the money on the rears and stuff, and they finally accepted. But that was only, I think, because of COVID, because she was about to get, you know, put out, but then when that, you know, when they did that, well, you couldn't put anybody out. I think they did that, you know, yeah. So when they did that one, I think that was.
Yeah, so have you ever had a problem with the bank, like whenever the loan that you're like taking over, exercising like a due on sale clause or like trying to accelerate the loan?
No, and
No?
I did probably 10 sub-2s. That being said, I've sold a note a couple times.
Okay.
And the only reason why I did that, because what happened was, when I first started, I was deeding the properties over to the buyer. So I stopped doing that and started doing.
What do you mean, quick deed?
Well, not like, you know how you talking about when you do a sub-2, then you turn around and just deed over to, you know, so you just get your money up front, but you still on the hook for the note they don't pay. So I started doing that because that was giving more control.
That means you stuck in the middle.
Yeah, but you're gonna be on the hook if they foreclose on the property.
So you keep it with you instead of leaving from you
Yeah.
and going over. Yeah,
Those
so
are
it's
the
all
ones that,
on you.
Yeah, so those are the ones that I sold the note on. And the only reason why I knew how to sell the note was being here.
So basically, your subject to have owner financing on the subject to you got. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you subject to debt owner finance instead of subject to.
No, I don't do it like that. I stop. So that way you in control. So if they do it, don't take you that much time to foreclose on them.
So because it's staying in your name, you're not.
Yeah. So it don't.
And you can create 2 LLCs, right? So where you can foreclose on people quicker. So like, you know, with a normal foreclosure, the person can get 6 months up to a year. But if you got it in an LLC and you assign the house to another LLC, then subject to the person, you can foreclose on this LLC. And then now you can do that within a month instead of you foreclosing on the person.
Well, I guess we got to join.
That's where LegalShield comes in.
That's
where you got to have that LegalShield.
I gotta come to the group. Yeah, that's why I started doing the land contract, but I wasn't aware.
Y'all can pick these guys' brains for this. See, everybody can feed on everybody. They all know something. I'm gonna tell you something I learned with him on his first flip. He ain't a liar. He said he wasn't gonna help. He did it. We made one mistake on that flip, and it cost us a little bit. And what was it?
Was the front of the
No,
house.
you let her stay in there.
Oh yeah. Well, we had to,
And they
that.
trashed it, kicked the ceiling in.
Oh,
What he should
And
tell you
left
is
all this.
how much money we made in the process
We
of.
would have made a few more dollars.
Ain't one at all.
The day you pay them, don't pay. Walk through that house before you sign for it, because I guess the kids were mad. I don't know, but
Or do a holdback where you give them some of the money and then some of the money get with him.
no, don't let. They can't stay in the house. He felt sorry for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying.
But
No, we did that one time too.
yeah, I know we kind of fixing everybody up, but that's like, those are rehabs and, you know, those are just different strategies. When you wholesaling, when you become the middleman and you sell the property, you out of the loop.
Yeah.
Like, it's over for you. So most of the stuff we talk about right now is kind of like different strategies, because as you you kind of start with wholesaling, but as you start doing deals, like how he did a couple of deals, made 100 and something thousand, he made 100 and something thousand. Then after that, I won't say get bored, you start wanting to exercise all the other creative things. You see, when you start driving down that road, you start realizing, oh crap, I can rehab, I can subject to, I can wrap around. You start finding all kind of other avenues. So you kind of start with wholesaling. I would recommend just doing just that first, and then after you know get some money, then you start exploring all these different other, because that's where the bank at when you got like one house and now you got like 6 strategies and all of them can make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So do you feel like 3 years, so that's what you've been doing, right?
Mhm.
I've been reading and everything for like 5 years, just took action
You gotta
last
go to
year.
jail.
Like, I know so much. I have analysis paralysis like ridiculous. I'm the most quantitative, calculated person you'll meet. But like, 3 years, all in Columbia?
Yeah. Well, I would say Columbia, Sumter, Dadsdale, and Elgin area.
Midlands.
Yeah.
That,
Just give or
Yeah.
take. Let's say
Why you
within an
asking?
hour.
So, my curiosity, do you have it like as a business structure and all this, or you just you and you're just doing it, and it's just you're just working it out? Like, do you have your own business and everything that you established with your LLC and everything
Yeah,
circulating through there and everything? Like, do you feel oversaturated market, or am I just
No
like
such thing as that.
people don't? I agree with that.
Yeah, there's no such thing as that.
It's just finding it. I guess.
You gotta start where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I
Use
get
what
it.
you have and do what you can.
You don't have a problem finding anything.
No, because I think the problem is it's just taking it one day at a time. What I mean by that is, right, if you're going to put out signs for one day. You know, don't go try to do this, that, or learn one area.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
why I just said this now.
My market
just learn one
yeah.
area
Hey,
and
what
just
you mean, what you
concentrate
mean?
on
Like,
that area.
well, I'm doing short-term rentals, so I'm doing Airbnb, that
Okay,
aspect of stuff. So that's where I'm looking. I'm on Zillow constantly on all this other stuff.
See,
So
this
like,
is the thing about the Zillow thing. You need to get out in the trenches. And what I mean by the trenches, you got to get out and walk these streets.
yeah.
You know?
Get in the field.
I agree.
What's on
Try to get in the
Zillow?
field.
What's on Zillow? Everybody know about.
Sure.
But the ones that's not on Zillow that you're gonna be driving, you're gonna see when you go, oh man, what is that back there? Which is crazy because I find myself driving and I see a house through the woods and grow. I'll stop, pull on the side of the road, and go get my little pad.
I was coming here
and
today
go
and I
out.
saw, I passed by this road all the time. All of a sudden, on my peripheral to the left, boom, house right there. I pass on this road 24/7. You just gotta get out in the field, because remember, we specialize off market. If it's on the internet, everybody done seen it.
Yeah, and it's probably in the deal anyway. That's why it's
If it ain't sold like that, probably something wrong with it, or it's just you need to get something where ain't nobody know about. We don't know about what he finding. He don't know about what we finding. So that's where the war is at.
Somebody gonna know about it, but it's just less people know about it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, less people. Yeah.
There's probably
I
less
have
people
two
actually taking
questions.
action.
So one is when you are driving and you do find a house and you jot down the address, what are your first 1 or 2 steps after
Call
you do that?
Eddie,
Phone
make
calls
sure.
to who to ask what?
First, you
I'm
go to the tax assessors. You know, get the name. You know, and find out that. Now, if you don't know, well, it's a free site, which I
Go to
bought
the
about,
county.
where you can just skip trace, and sometimes that works. Or you can go on social media.
Go get Land Glide app for $10 a month.
Yeah.
Land Glide app, $10 a month.
Okay.
When you put it in front of any vacant house, it's gonna give you the address, the owner's name, the owner's current address, and then you skip trace them. True People Search for free. Fast
True
People-
people search, is
Yeah,
it
that's
skip
what it's called.
tracing?
Yeah, or Fast People Search. Either
Yellow
one.
pages, doctor. That's a couple of them.
Or you can get on REI Skip, set up a little account for $10, and they charge you a quarter name.
Okay.
Huh?
And you find the person's phone number, you call them up, or write them or text them.
Perfect. It's just to find out who to contact at that point, but that's how you find out.
Yeah, you won't get, when you, the app you use called Landglide.
Landglide app, fast people search, true people search.
That's it,
I
yeah.
got that. Okay, and then my second question is, what about contracts or however you wholesale, purchase and sale agreement, assigning it to, you buying it, you don't want it to be on you, you have it for 30 days, you have whatever clauses to get you out of it if you do need to get out of it and you can't find somebody to sell it to. Where do you get those documents, or what documents are you guys using?
See, that's why you need to join my group. Billionaire Minds Academy.
Okay.
We got
Where-
a group, correct?
Yeah.
Bomb.
Billionaire Minds
I
Academy.
wrote that
10
down.
billion Facebook. Check me out. I break it all
You
down.
wanna make sure, if you're gonna be in this game long term, anything that you go out to buy, that's why I said make sure the numbers is right. Make sure you buy something where you know you can sell. Cause there's also a word of the mouth game. You wanna make sure you know, cause obviously the properties that we buying, we solving people's problems. So you gotta make sure you solve their problem, because they're gonna refer you to somebody. And you wanna keep your name clean in this game, because it's just very small around here. So you just don't, if you know you can't sell it, and you know the number's too tight, you can't just go and say, well, look, the house worth 70, and the person saying, I want 60,000, you know it's only $10,000 ARV, now you go sign a contract, you just doing something,
That's definitely fair advice.
so-
But if I don't have that concern, and I'm just talking about the paperwork part,
I mean,
what's the first step that you recommend? If I found a house tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I have a bunch of people who are in the rehab business, flipping business, or just ultimately an end buyer that wants to buy that house,
Yeah, you need
how
to
do
put
I get it from here
You
to
need to
there?
put it under contract for as low as possible, give the person as small as deposit as possible, and then you go to your buyer and you assign it a different contract, assignment contract, and you assign that.
Can I just look that up online and print it out tomorrow?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, you can call Bob, he has the contracts,
Okay,
right?
all right, boom,
You know,
perfect.
that way you wouldn't even gotta go look it up online.
All right.
Oh, if you got one.
Yeah, I mean, I got some in the jar.
Yeah, I ain't sure, but yeah, I know Bob had it. Is
You just, in wholesaling, you just the middleman. So you selling a piece of paper to this other person for them to do whatever they're gonna do. They're gonna subject to, they're gonna flip it, whatever they're gonna do. So you just taking this one piece of paper that you're getting under contract, and you're selling that paper
The rights to the
for some money.
property temporarily.
You just
get
selling the
it off to
contract.
somebody.
Yeah, you don't sell in the house.
You ain't
So I
selling the
got
house.
Bob
You selling
and
the
you
contract.
to hit up
Yeah, you selling the
for
contract.
that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you the contract, but if you wanna know how to fill it out and like all the, cause it's certain.
Intricate.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's funny when you get contracts signed. You gotta say certain ways, certain things, certain ways, because this is a very fragile business. You see what I'm saying? Like it's based on emotions. So
Yes.
people, when you try, like I had a woman who every time we discussed, it was her dad's house, and she was taking care of him the last years of his life, and he died. So every time we discussed the house, the lady break down crying. You see what I'm saying? So when we get ready to sign the contract, she started crying. And I'm like, shit, if you don't sign the contract, I'm gonna be crying. We all gonna be crying in here. You see what I'm saying? But it's fragile, you know what I mean? So you gotta know how to, when this lady busts out crying, what do?
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, ma'am, can you stop crying and sign the contract? You gotta be able to, you know.
I got you.
Yeah.
You dealing with like some of the biggest possessions that any
Yes.
normal person
Probably the biggest.
bought
Yes.
in their life.
Yeah.
So it's their house. This ain't just their little beat up little car outside now. Where you just signing over a title. You dealing with, they grew up in there,
Yes, sir. It's not
family
property.
members died.
Yes,
It's just,
yes.
it can get very, very sentimental. Yeah,
Sentimental.
sentimental. So.
Alright, so alright, basically, alright, so you get it under contract, you put it through escrow, you find your cash buyer, you get their contract, and you send it to escrow, and then you're done.
Well, I mean, once you get the house under contract, I don't know if you already got a cash buyer, but like, you can either, once you get the contract, you can either put it in the group, or you can put it on Facebook, or, share it. But after that, you need to find your closing attorney, to be able to submit the contract to. So that way it gives you set the time of closing time, and then you'll be able to find a buyer to be able to get it done.
Okay, yeah, alright.
So once they sign, you on the clock.
Yeah, because you
Just
don't
remember, you on the clock.
This is a good deal. I don't care whether you don't got one cash buyer.
30
You
days.
post this in this group, or it's gonna sell. You ain't gotta even.
You just get on Facebook and you search REI, Columbia, real estate investors, blah, blah, blah.
You ain't gotta promote it.
They gonna pop up. You just drop it, and if it's a deal and the numbers make sense, somebody gonna buy it. They gonna buy it fast.
Yeah.
But if the numbers don't make sense,
you may have a problem.
Yeah.
All right, so do y'all have any like agents y'all recommend?
Agents? No, we don't deal with. But I personally
no. I mean, not agents, attorneys.
I have a. I can
you
answer
got a
that.
couple of them. I mean, pretty much all of them in Columbia. You got MGC, you got.
Well, I don't know what Rich still does.
Rich ain't doing it.
I got a question for you. So, when you all first got started, right? What would you say the most complicated part of that process was? Like, is it finding the leads or is it the contract?
Staying consistent. The hardest part is finding people who want to sell.
Finding someone?
Yeah, finding motivated sellers is the hardest part. And staying consistent. People give up too quick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because see, don't get me wrong. If someone tell you no today, it just might not be the time. I done got houses where I done went to, he was like, "No, I don't want to sell now." But then 3 months later, I've been still writing them letters or calling them, checking on, "Hey, how you doing? Did you sell that property?" And guess what? Hey, I'm ready to sell.
And it's the timing thing. It's the timing thing. Like how you feel like it's too saturated. Some of these properties, I might not get it at the time. Like he probably write them or probably call them, and it might not be the time when they're gonna sell. Now all of a sudden, he might just shot him a letter and call.
Yeah.
Bam, he got it. So the deals are there. It's just your timing on when you reach out, to the seller in the situation. What's going on, how many pain points they got going at the time, because time is changing. People dying, they inheriting houses, they losing jobs, they foreclosing. It's just so many variables is happening to all of us. So it's kind of a timing thing. That's why the deals are there. Because right now there's people dying, we know that. They're about to inherit like a couple properties, and the average person, they've inherited a property for $200,000, I ain't got nothing in it. Hey bro, you need to come buy this house, 100 grand, I don't care, that's $100,000. So you got a lot of people who think like that. So but it's all on you to reach out to these different sellers. So when it's time, when they get to that point that you in their book and you built that rapport, like he said, to get them, for you to be the person that they want to sell to.
Oh, it's kind of like the follow-up is.
That's all.
Follow-up is where the most money is.
And that's where it's at. But the thing about this business is, it don't take a lot of money, to get started. If you won't have a lot of money, but you gotta have time and have some sort of knowledge of coming here or wherever you decide that you're gonna go and be able to attend the meetings and just be able to know when you go into a seller house, you got some sort of knowledge to be able to say, I can go from A to Z to be able to close the deal out. Because if you don't know what you're talking about, you go in somebody's house, they're gonna run you out. They can be like, oh, you don't know, or they gonna feel you trying to jip them or you shade yourself. So have the knowledge to be able to go in there and be able to listen. For one, you need to be able to listen. Because every deal ain't gonna be a wholesale deal or what have you, or whatever. But you can still make money off the deal if you just find a solution to their problem. So that's gonna be the key.
So if I got a wholesale deal I'm working on and it don't fit the criteria, can I call you and we work together?
Yeah. Like I said, I did 10 sub to, but I ain't spending all my money. Period. And what I mean by that is, even though I was wholesale, I just never come out my pocket and bought any of the houses. And the thing about it was, my whole aim was to wholesale the house, or if Eddie was like, no, we can't flip it, but I still want the house.
Right.
So that being said, how can I get the house?
Find an strategy.
Yeah. So you have to find another strategy, to be able to obtain the house.
Do you teach people how to do this?
No, I'm not a teacher, but if someone needs my advice or something, I can. Because for me, like I said, my second year, I did, great. In fact, with me and Eddie, we did that flip, and I ended up buying me a car.
Should have never done it because he bought
was
a
about
car
the freedom.
jump ship on.
Just temporary. I'm still part-time. It's temporary.
Part-time real estate.
Yeah.
And what he didn't tell y'all, when he first started, he was wholesaling and paying his way to finish college. He went to college.
And I finished college. I wholesale and I finished college. I got degree. Construction. Technology. Yeah. I can't like it, but I still got degree. But I did. So it ended up freeing me to be able to go back to school, educate myself, still make a great living, and invest in a car lot, and then another business. So you don't necessarily still have to, I mean, you know, if you want to do it full time, but then some people who may have 10, 15 years on their job, they're not going to just walk away when they still got retirement to benefit. So you can still make a good living doing this if you choose to, as long as you stay consistent. Just find the hours that's going to be able to work for you. And that's what I did. I went to school full time, you know, and did everything that I wanted to do once I started doing real estate. So what, like, I got to do anything, it was just, I want a car lot. Made enough money ready, got a car lot. So, you know, but I'm still doing real estate, you know. So it's just more about being able to be consistent, getting the knowledge in here, and don't go paying a whole bunch of money. Like how Bob said, you don't have to spend $5,000. Matter of fact, I only spend $200 to make $100,000 each year. I never spent that money about no $5,000.
That sounds illegal.
Or none of that.
That's a compliment, brother.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, the most I ever spent, except for Tony Young's class, that was it. The classes that we did in here, I didn't have to spend all that money, and I just went out every day. And $200, maybe $100,000 each year. You know, so it's one of those things, man, where you don't have to know anything. Because I don't know nothing about rehabbing a house, but I made enough money wholesaling to where I was comfortable enough to where, okay, well, hey, this is one we can do. And being in this group, you got a contractor right here, you got all the private money in here, so it's not somewhere that you got to go to find anything. It's right here. You know, so
all the players are in this room.
Yeah,
it's in this room,
and
a lot of knowledge.
Yeah,
It's good, a major start.
Yeah, and the more houses that you post, the more houses that you sell, they're going to introduce themselves to you. If you don't know them, you know, just so forth, they're going to make themselves known.
And once you start wheeling and dealing, they're gonna call you.
So,
excuse me, Mr. J.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to share with the group that 2 properties that I sold, and I'm not in this business, I'm retired military, so I'm like you, I just take risks. People think that, I won't go there. But anyway, one of the things that was a blessing to me is, because I have LegalShield, and the 2 properties that I sold, my attorney, or real estate attorney, was Attorney George McElvin, and I found him through LegalShield. And so I did save that I did have that 25% discount because I had that product. So I wanted to say that. And then I have a son in Durham. So would you all be willing to work in the North Carolina area?
Oh, well, when they go, I go.
So that's that Durham, Fayetteville area. That's where my grandchildren live, and that's my son is in Durham, North Carolina.
And he's an attorney? Is that where you?
No, Mr. George McElvin is the attorney here in Columbia, in the Midlands downtown. And so I saved that 25% discount on those 2 properties.
that's great. Well, I mean, any questions? I guess you can, but I know someone else wants to talk or need to speak.
What about Mike?
No, I mean, I was just going to do load bearing wall, how to move, but hey.
Can you speak on that a little bit? Or is it too late? I know it's a little late.
It won't take me long, 'cause I'm fast. They call me Fast Eddie.
And Mr. Eddie, one other thing I want to say to this gentleman, I want to say congratulations to you all. I have a brother serving a life sentence in New Jersey, been in 28 years, and I just wish that he had taken advantage of some of the things that you all took advantage of, reading and, you know, just getting into the game of doing something different with his life. So I want to say congratulations to you all.
Mom, I need your help. I just learned something throughout this meeting here, and I'm talking. Charge y'all more. Y'all making way too much money. What's the next slide? Load bearing walls. This is why I want to talk about load bearing walls. And people want to go to a flip. You know what the open concept. Don't have the first clue what to do with a load bearing wall. First of all, number 1 rule, make sure the person is qualified to do it.
Okay, well, Eddie, what is that?
Yeah, what is a load bearing?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. Go to the next slide. There it is. A load bearing wall is a wall that is an active functional structure of a building which carries the weight of the building, which we call a load, and then transfers the total weight to the foundation structure beneath. That's real complicated, ain't it? But watch this. Next. This is in a house. Let's say we go in a house. here's where people screw up. You ever go in a house and the floor here and maybe here in an opening kind of sinks? You ever notice that? You know why that happens? They moved the load, but there's no pier underneath to support it. See, go to the next slide, Bob. And well, here we go. See, this is your load. Load is how the weight of the building is transferred all the way to the bottom. You notice everywhere you go, you see pier, footing, whatever you want to call it. See, that's where people make the mistake. You must pull a permit. Number one rule, and I preach this, and I only work with people who allow me to pull permits. Tim allows me to pull permits, Ricardo allows me to pull permits, because I'm not putting my license on the line and not pulling a permit, because see, if you have a license, I'm a licensed builder. If I don't pull a permit, I can't play stupid, because you know what the first thing they make you take before you can even take your builder's test? You have to take a business law test. You know what that tells you? The rules. So now you have to pass that first. You know why they do that? So you can't say later, I didn't know. Oh yeah, you did, because you took that course. So, but you want someone who does it right, because believe this or not, and you can attest, if Ricardo and Tim had me flip a house for them, I don't pull a permit and I do this wrong, 2 years later that house collapses. They start going through it with some forensics. They find out who did this, and they'll track it back. In this sue-happy world we live in, they're on the hook.
That's right. It's on us, yeah.
And see, I'm gonna pull a permit, but let's go back to the other side.
How do you, you know, what key thing do you use to identify when you walk in the house? Which one is the load-bearing wall?
Okay. These houses that most people go into right now, small, you know, you got that long hall down the middle, and you got a bathroom on one. That's the long hall. You go up in the attic. This is where your joists cross over. You'll see them on that wall. That is your load-bearing wall. You just can't move it. This is the anatomy of what a wall would look like. This is your header. Now, depending on the size of the span, you may use a glue lamp, you may use an LVL, or you may use 2x12 sandwiched in between a half-inch piece of plywood. But you have to find out what is required. I just can't say, well, I call the LVL company. They got an engineer on site. I tell him, this is what I got. What do I need? He wants to know what's above it. He wants to know the span to the left, the span. He asks all these questions. Then he says, this is what you need. You need 3 nines. So, okay, I'll get 3 nines. They'll tell you.
What's 3 nines?
9-inch LVLs, but I need 3 of them for that area. So you stack them together. You can mount them below or above. Above costs a lot more money. If the ceilings are low, then you want to take them up. That's a little costly, but it's a lot of bang for buck. Because then you don't see it. You ever walk in a place, you can see the header, and you walk in. That's the easy way to do it. But you have to know, you got to support both sides of the wall. If this, let's say there was a wall right here. I got to put a fake wall here, a temporary wall here, a temporary wall here. Because when I take this out, these two have no support. So it's not so easy. We know people go, we went to one, remember Bob? This guy argued with the inspector. And he wanted me to go over there because A, he didn't have a license. And maybe I could help him, you know, pull a permit, he'd do the work. I swear, there were wires dangling, sparkling in that house. I was like, ain't no way. And then I couldn't tell if he was looking at me or Bob because his eyes went like this. I said, Bob, we gotta go. I ain't messing with this joke. Yeah. But you have to have at least 2 studs to bear that weight. When you see somebody doing it with 1 stud, they don't know what they're doing. So why I wanted to do this was, I don't want you to become an expert in it, but I want you to have at least some understanding of how it goes together. So if you do hire a contractor, first thing he's got to do is what? Pull a permit. That protects you. You know why? Because once you pull a permit, Now you have to call for an inspection from the county. That county will come and look at the work, and they'll give a proceed certificate, or they'll give a no, stop order.
Now in wholesaling, y'all don't gotta worry about none of this stuff.
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah, I'm glad he brought
You
that
know,
up.
when you want to rehab and get that big bucks, these are the things you gotta consider. Like a lot of people be like, you know, why y'all didn't just flip it and get X, Y, Z amount of money? But guess what? Like Eddie said, you taking a risk, and if something, just because I sold a house, if something major possibly happen, they can possibly come back after you. When you wholesale, that ain't got nothing to do with you, because you ain't sold a house, you sold a piece of paper.
Let somebody die or get hurt real bad in the house.
That's right.
They coming after something. They want to know who bought this out, who did this work, where's the permits. Next thing you know, you on the hook. It happens. But I just want you to get an understanding of this kind of work. Cripples always are above. Cripples are above doors. Pick up a framing book.
This cripples.
These are the smaller ones up here to hold. See, you've got your regular studs here, then you got, we call them kings, jacks.
Just the place, they're all studs.
Yeah, all of them, but the small ones they call the cripples are above either the header or the LVL. But this is just, they don't all have to look like this. You don't have to have cripples up here. I can push this thing up.
So you need that, all right.
But that's why whoever you hire has to know what they're talking about. But you should know that you need a permit. Anything structural in a house, you need a permit. In Richland County, you need a permit for everything. In Lexington County, you don't need a permit for siding, you don't need a permit for roofing. See, you have to know the counties, everything's different. City of Columbia, Forest Acres, you painting the house, I swear code enforcement comes by and wants to know what you're doing. So you have to know, what's the next one, Bob? Yeah, that's just your typical flow. What's the next one? Oh, okay. This is actually a project we were doing. That's one of my guys right there. This is at a buddy of mine's house. We poured the concrete. This is his workshop. He's doing a little workshop here.
Huh?
Oh, we've been building. I told him, we getting ready to start. I'm waiting on you. Stop playing around. Actually, we're about to start going on B Avenue. But see that glue lamp right there? See how big? That thing is heavy. But we wanted, it has to span, it has to be able to hold all the way.
We all used to lift that up there.
It was me and 3 other guys. That's how we did it. We didn't have nothing else. But you can get it up there. I mean, that's a smaller one on that side. But see, framing is framing. See over the windows? Over windows you're always going to have. We put them there anyway for the strength. But this is just a job we did. And sad thing was my buddy, after we built this thing, he sells the house.
How much that cost to build? How much did that cost to build?
This whole workshop was about $35,000, but
everything.
Oh yeah, the inside, when we got done, put side on it, we put brick all the way around here. Now granted, me and him are builders and we're buddies,
okay.
And so
that's what's up.
He spent 35, but it was sharp. It was sharp. You know, that's a thick pad. You see how thick that pad is?
How much square foot was that?
I think it was like 20 something by 20, 26 by 20 maybe. It was so nice that he was living in this thing. We were also flipping the house he was in. Yeah, he was living in this little camper, and his wife was getting fed up with that. Next one, Bob. We ain't gonna get into vetting contractors. Y'all hear me talk about this all the time. People think I harp on it because I got nothing better to do. No, we've gone. One thing I vowed to do this year, and I do a lot of these. I'm not doing them anymore. We're not helping fail flips. I quit. I get so sick and tired of the work I see.
That means going behind somebody.
Yeah. If y'all saw something I posted the other day, I just don't like it. We just did another one. We closed on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can get through them. But when I'm in there, when I was at this last one we did, we just closed today while we were having dinner. My partner called me and said, we got a cash offer on it. Do you want to take it? Absolutely.
That was a fail flip?
Yeah, it was. That was a failed flip. And when I walked in there, I was like, and the budget was tight. And I told him I didn't agree with his budget. We didn't make his budget. We made my budget. You know, we're going to do what we got to do. But they just do so many things. I'll give you a perfect idea. You put a shower pan down, right? The shower pan. Then you put your Durarock. There's a lip on the shower pan. The Durarock should come over that lip. So when the
water hits.
they stuck the Durarock and the towel on top of that lip.
Oh.
And I said, you know what? That's gonna leak. Now somebody else you could have rigged it where it would have lasted past the closing. But see, we don't do that.
That's right.
So we tore it up, you know. And when you look at a failed flip, it was such a mess in this house, sometimes you can't see everything because there's stuff everywhere. The electrical, me and Bob went to another one. You feel like you're in a commercial building. This is a kitchen, and I swear it had maybe 4 recess lights here, right? Go back 10 times. I mean, the electrician lost his mind. I was like, what's up with all these lights? I mean, I don't want all them lights in my house. I mean, was that not excessive lights, Bob? The shower in that house, that's another, see, I just don't like that. I ain't gonna talk about it because, you know, jacklegs, amateurs, I don't like them. And I just don't like looking at that kind of work. And I get mad at the client because...
What's the one thing we need to look for if we trying to vet a contractor? What's the #1 thing I need to, if I never met you?
Go to the license real quick. Don't be fooled by a license from the city of Columbia that says business license. That is not a trades license.
Right.
That's a business license. Keep going, Bob. I'm trying to find the actual, my card.
You know, Eddie, I ain't never look you up. Go back, Bob.
There we are.
Hey, you never make sure you legit. Okay. All right. I know.
You know how you know I'm legit?
Yeah.
I pull permits. But see here, this is a home builder one. This is a pocket card. If you're licensed, you have it in your pocket. Because when that inspector comes, the county, city inspector comes on the job, that's like your driver's license. If you ain't got it, he shut you down, or he'll try to verify you. But if you got a guy who says, hey, I'm a licensed builder, I'm a specialty contractor, it don't matter. If he's licensed by the LLR, why do you want him to be licensed by the LLR? I'm going to tell you this real quick. $15,000 bond. A lot of people don't want to lose their license. So if there is a problem and you tell them, I'm going to report you. Now they're, okay, I'll make it right, True story, my neighbors, I'm going to make this quick, my neighbors can't wait. You know, they think I'm supposed to jump over there because they need something done. I couldn't do it. But I told them what to do. Make sure they're licensed. Low bearing wall, kept total gut in the kitchen, open it up. Okay, here's what they got to do. Make sure. Shoot. She said, we're done. Well, you know, as far as all the roughing and the electrical, and me and Donnie went over there because they wanted us to install a pocket door. When we looked at this knot in between the 2x4s, there was a knot. I'm not kidding, about 12 different wires all fused together and taped up. That's illegal. Okay, I said, okay, they didn't pull a permit. She said, well, they said they did. No, because it should have been posted in your window. Did you post it in your front window? She said, no. Then they showed me the LVL. Now it's covered with sheetrock. I can't see it. But I go up in the attic. It ain't looking good. I said, here's what I do. Find a permit. She said, she's a realtor now. She's not as sharp as Shondi here, but I thought she'd at least, no, okay, they're done with their part, right? So she insists she wants the permit from this guy. He sends her the permit, she sends it, shows it to me, says, look, he has a permit. I said, look at the date on that thing, he just pulled it. She goes, oh. So anyway, she called, now she's hot, now she gets hot, see? Don't make a woman mad, I'll tell you. Oh, she got hot. She called that guy up. She called the LLR. No permits pulled. LLR investigator came down there. They had to tear out the wall, He had to get another electrician, $3,000 to fix the electrical alone. That contractor lost money. And bad news was, this guy was licensed.
Wow.
His page looks good. Licensed. Now he's up for he might.
We need one more thing then. You saying the license is the main thing we look for. We look for contract. We need something else then. License.
Well, license. Well, if he says he's licensed and he's performing something that requires a license, well, referrals ain't always good. Because if you don't know him, hey, there's plenty of people. Okay, I'll give you a guy who just did this other job. He got plenty of referrals.
Wow.
But he got them from his friends and family. Oh, no. See, you call somebody, oh, so-and-so gave me your, you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
No, I want somebody tried and true. I want people that I know. I know you, and if you say you use this guy, he's good, he's solid, he's done these work, he's legit. See, that's called a testimonial from you on this man. Yeah. Just like I know y'all are legit, because I've seen their work. I know they flip these houses. I know they're finding these deals. See, that's how I don't have a problem endorsing any one of these guys. Because I know. That's how I find my people. And then I want to go see their work. Before I hire a sub, I'll have gone to his job sites for a minimum of 6 months for consistency. Anybody can get lucky on one job. No, I just show up. Tell me where you're working. I ain't going to tell you when I'm coming. I'll just show up.
You pop up. Yeah.
There was a clip I put on my Facebook page of a guy in a bathroom. Did anybody see that? He's putting up the shower. He's putting towel in the shower. Yeah. Did you see that? Who saw that?
I saw.
Was that funny?
Yeah.
Everything was wrong though. And see, if I come in and I see that happening, you gotta go. But this is what I like to just educate you. You don't have to become an expert, but when you see somebody doing this, you know to stop them right there. Hey, hold up, stop. You don't know what you're doing. He's putting tile, thin set, directly on the door rock.
What's the door rock?
That cement board, but it's not waterproof. No red guard, no Curdy, no nothing. Guaranteed to leak.
You know you speak Spanish though.
Sí, muchas veces. But and see, as the workshop's going, we do more. This is what I like to teach. This is what I bring to the REIA.
See, that's why you got to do the workshop there when we go in the house.
We do that. You just ain't attended. See?
I ain't saying nothing.
Bob? Okay, real quick on a shower. This is how quick it is. And once you go through a few of these with me, you'll know. You won't let a contractor, remember, who does a contractor work for? You. You tell him what you're going to pay him and when you're going to pay him. You don't let him intimidate you. No, I don't. I would. I don't pay subs if the job ain't right. You know, I had one almost, he said he was going to beat me up. Went and got some big old buddy of his. And then they came to the job site.
For real?
Yeah.
True story.
Oh, yeah. I said, hey, you shouldn't have told me you were coming. These are my friends. So, you know, but don't be intimidated. You run the show, and we'll have these. But anyway, if you're in a shower, let's say this is the shower. It's one wall here, and this is the back, right? What wall do you always start when you're toweling? The rear wall. If you see a guy, that guy was starting on the left wall, wasn't he? That tells me right now he don't know what he's doing.
You got to start on the rear wall.
On the rear wall first.
What are you doing? Going like this?
Well, you want to do the rear wall first because when you bring the sides in, you don't see that joint so bad. But that's why you know the fact that he's starting on the left wall, he didn't waterproof the cement board.
Inexperienced.
Man, my head would have spun in the car. I'd have just run them off.
See, I ain't know. I'm gonna just start connecting this.
But okay, one more. Keep going. I'm just showing you one more and I'm done. That's the bomb, but don't worry about the bomb. Okay, go back to that. Go back. That's very important. Glad you asked. Certificate of liability. Don't believe the certificate. Call the agency, Adams, Eady and Associates. This is like car insurance. You put a little bit down, you ride with it. But if I don't make payments and I have a wreck, am I covered? Never believe the certificate. You call up this person here, and all they're going to tell you, as of today, he's covered.
Your contract.
Yeah.
Your contract is covered.
Yeah, I'm covered, the sub's covered, you ain't
So
working.
that's what this for, to make sure your contract.
That's right, that's general liability. In case I damage, the bond is in case I walk off the job.
15 grand.
15, and then the LLO finds that I'm wrong, they'll take the money from that bond and I gotta pay it back. That's why you wanna hire somebody with a license, because they don't really wanna lose that license. But go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, go back a minute, I'm sorry, go back, I love that one. Go down a minute.
Go back,
down, go.
that one.
Okay, right there. I believe I believe in God. I don't run around telling people, oh, I'm a Christian. Hate those kind of guys. This is on this guy's website. True story. The minute I saw this, I said, this guy's a crook. You ain't got to advertise if you honor God. It shows. Next, go to this is what you see on his website, all that good stuff.
Right.
Well, I asked him, because I knew he didn't pull a permit, because he didn't do it right. I knew it wasn't inspected. He told me, oh yeah, I'm phone. I said, man, you ain't pulling nothing. And then I can do a build fax. A build fax is like a car fax.
Man, so you honor God, not the county.
No.
You say you honor God, not the county.
No, I'm sorry. I got a hard time with people who advertise that, because that leads you to think this guy was a crook, a thief, and he's going to jail right now.
Oh, wow.
Well, that don't make you a bad person, because we all been there. But I just hate when I see people like that, and they try to, and nothing against preachers, I don't work with them anymore. Because you know what? Now I realize they praying to God, they're going to have the money when I'm done.
Oh,
no, God says you pay their debts. All right, what's the next one? Keep going. Keep going. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's bad.
Remember what we were talking about earlier? This is a galvanized pipe.
Wow. Okay.
It's underneath the house, and it's a supply line. That's not good. It's leaking water. It's corroding. Galvanized pipe doesn't last forever. 25, 30 years, it starts deteriorating underneath. Go to the next one.
I can't just keep that up, man.
No, look at this one.
Ooh.
That same house. That's what was under there.
Where else at LCS?
The one we were talking about today.
No, the other one, Orangeburg.
Go to the next one.
The one, the house was, not the duplex.
See that?
Even if you try to clean that off, it'll fall apart right there.
You got water coming through. There's no saving this.
Yeah, that's
it's
done.
done.
Yep, it's done.
It's done. Now, here's how you know a jackleg bummer. He gonna come. He gonna start. Well, or he just gonna start pulling all the pipe out, right? He gonna take it all out. That's a rookie move. I'm just making a new one. Why would I want to even dig this one out? It's no good.
So you just leave that right there. You just make
I just go to the water meter, make me a new line,
cut it out.
and I'm gonna take a straight shot to it. I'm gonna save you money, and I'm gonna make.
You gonna run straight right across the line.
I'm gonna make a beeline to it with this new piping we got.
I got you. I feel you.
So when I see guys saying, "Well, we gotta dig the old one up," no, you don't.
No. What type of piping you using now?
Everybody's using PEX or CPVC, but nobody. But you don't have to take it out. That costs money. They're going to charge you to dig this thing up. And then you're not going to be able to go back anyway.
And they're going to make money off of it if it's copper.
But, well, no, at the end of this, where it's tying in, you got to dig down. I mean, you're going to be like a mole. It's a lot of work. It's a lot. And I ain't trying to rape anybody. I'm going to tell you this. Now, if you want me to dig this up, I'll dig it up. I'm going to charge you. And then I'm going to still put another line. That's what I do. That's what I do. What's the next one real quick? Oh, this is a roofer. Oh, yeah.
That's the top of it.
See this? This is called felt paper. Word to the wise, if you're on that roof, stay away from the chimney. Because if you walk on these shingles, you coming through. Go to the next one. Oh, that's it. I'm done.
Eddie, can I ask you a quick question? Is there a website where contractors who've been cited for violations might be
You can
registered?
go to the LLR, and they have a list of, go to the, they have a list there, I can't remember what it's called, cease and desist list or something, and you'll see all these contractors and what they've been found guilty of, and it's public.
What's the other one though? Angie something too. One of them things.
Angie's list, let me tell you, Angie's list don't work.
They be lying.
Yeah, I joined. That's it. You
They
have
got
a felony
groups on
conviction?
Facebook now,
I said,
though,
no, and I just want to see if I can get in. They don't verify anything.
They got groups on Facebook now where they like team up and they be like in Charleston, like beware of XYZ. You could just run a quick search and you will see, like, hey, this person right here, you not being doing dirty.
Gallo's gonna be talking, I don't know if it's not next month, we're gonna talk about a flip he called me to go see it, and that thing's stage 4 cancer. Chemo won't help it. No, it's gone. I told him I ain't touching it. Some things don't come back.
Everyone, he's been really quiet, but I want to get his business card.
Gallo, come on out.
Come on out, Gallo.
You back here hiding, come on up.
We don't like to let him talk too much because he used to be an officer in the military.
How are you doing, guys? Galen Run from Nader Properties. Like these guys, I started here in this group as well. So most of my knowledge came from guys like Eddie, from Bob, and those are the type of guys that I call when I have a question. What do? I do anything real estate related. I'm a cash buyer, so whenever you find those houses, you can call me. What I've done at times for wholesalers, when they can negotiate and try to lock in that deal, I have been able to go and be able to help them out a little bit, and I'm still going to give them their assignment fee. If you do things right, there's enough money for everyone. There's enough money for everyone. What else I do? I'm a property manager. I have a property management company. And right now I do, we just started. Right now I have 30 properties that I manage. They're all from $1,500 and above. That's kind of like my niche. And then we manage our own rentals, the ones that we've found through wholesaling or the ones that we bought through some wholesalers.
You got some substitutes too?
We actually, I right now having partnered with some folks that have done subject to deals. And I am focusing into the Hispanic population. They love sub-2 deals. They have a lot of cash, and they cannot get loans, but they have the cash. So I help manage projects, rehabs, because one of the hardest things to do that's going to make you or break in this business is rehabs. Rehabs. So if you don't have a competent general contractor, well, let's face it, all of us are trying to get to this level, right? But there's only one Eddie. You cannot just rely on him. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of general contractors out there. But the problem is that they have the general contractor mindset. They do not have the investor mindset. And there's a difference. When you are when you're coming new into this business, and you're trying to put all of your life savings to try to flip your first house, and you go off of what a general contractor tells you, well, how does he know what the ARV is? How is he or she going to help you to get to that ARV so you can make the money that you want to make? And the moment that they give you the wrong budget, you're done. It's just like asking the wrong or just like asking the wrong real estate agent, what's the ARV for this deal? If he or she gives you the wrong ARV, you're done. You're done. So you have to be very careful with who you trust. And it's all really about the network. I'm going to pass out my cards. I touch anything and everything that's real estate. This year we're also doing private money lending. So if the deal makes sense, it's all about making money, right? So I do have to make money if we lend you money. And at the same time, the good thing about this is I'll lend you the money and I can also help you with the rehab. So I will make sure that you don't fail, because it is in my best interest that I get my money back. or I foreclose on you and I flip the house anyways.
Sounds like Bob. Straight out of Bob's playbook.
Any exit strategies you say you use that you might use?
You know, in the beginning, I was just nothing but a flipper. I always, every time that a deal comes to us from a wholesaler, I'm always going to look at it from every avenue possible. Because one of the things that the military taught me is you got to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F. In case something happens, you got to find a way out. Okay, I have a comfort zone on homes, like anywhere between 150 and 250. That's my safe zone because I know they can sell quick. ARB, that is. Okay, that's me. Anything above 250, I'm a little, the numbers have to be just right. The school zone has to be just right. There's just a lot of things that have to be right for those deals to work. But now with subject twos, I've done a few subject twos. I've never done land contracts. I've done wholesaling. I've flipped. I've helped other investors rehab. So last year we did a total of 20 rehabs. And right now I'm helping some investors managing their rehabbing because let's face it, a lot of the construction workers, what language do they speak? I speak Spanish. I speak English. I have a background in finance. And I know how to lead people because I was in the military. I don't have an issue, just like Eddie, you know, he doesn't have an issue calling things wrong. I'm just like that. And sometimes in this business, you have to be able to mean business with people, just like with your tenants. You have to be able to tell them, no, rent is due today, or if not, I'm going to evict you. You have to be very, you know, there's got to be, you got to be a person, but at the same time, you got to understand that this is going to feed your family. So what comes first? All right? So I'm here to be a resource. This nightmare of a flip that we went to look at, that's just me trying to help two folks that got taken advantage of.
Okay.
All right? Some folks that are 80 grand.
They just called you.
They call me because I'm very active in Facebook, and they call me and say, hey, I have this situation. And I say, okay, let me go look at it. And I say, hey, Eddie, I have the situation. Hey, Bob, we have the situation. So let's just come see what we can do.
Yeah. And
I told these guys, I say, man, I don't sugarcoat things. You're upside down big time.
But how do you get 80 kids?
And that's it. All comes down when I will definitely recommend that you come next month or the month after when we talk about this. Okay. It all started with the wrong ARB. It all started by you going off of what Zillow says. Okay. It all started by hiring a general contractor, quote unquote, that is not licensed. It all started with a rehab estimate that was wrong to begin with. So just because the ARB was wrong and the estimate budget was wrong,
it's over.
You're already doomed to fail.
Yeah.
And the fact that the other thing is that it was hard money. Okay? So it was hard money. All right? So these folks are paying now out of pocket $2,300 on interest every month. Out of pocket. The house, they've been working on this house now for 6 months. House is not even done. Roughing is not even passed. When Eddie went and looked, it's like, man, I don't even want to touch this. And I don't blame him. And that's what I told the guys. So what we try to do now is I say, hey, Eddie, what should you do? Report them to the LLR. That's what we did.
Report the contract.
Right. There's a lot more to the story, but in a nutshell, guys, having a good contractor by your side, having someone that you can call and say, what do you think about this? Especially when you're new, don't get mesmerized by the 6-figure deals, because it takes experience to get to that level. And don't be afraid to call a new wholesaler to say, hey, how do you feel this contract? Hey, it's okay, I'll pay you the $197. It's okay. If $197 are going to make you 6 figures, why not pay the $197? The guy paid 4 years of his time learning, reading hundreds of books. Learn from him. Pay him for that.
Spend money to make money.
Exactly. Pay money. When you call me, depending on what it is that you call me for, I'll say, well, I can look at this for you, but I'll charge you $75 to $100 to go look at the house. Do you want me to do an estimate for you? Sure. But it'll cost you $100 per hour because my time is worth something. But at least I know, as a flipper, as a rehabber, I know what a good estimate is gonna look like, okay? And that's really the foundation to make sure that you make money on a flip at least.
And you basically help them with ARV, just everything across the board.
Everything across the board. So when an investor calls me, I have helped some folks from Charlotte that say, hey, I'm new here, I don't know what I'm doing. I say, okay, let me walk you through this whole process. Okay, my team will help them renovate. I have some contractors that will sub with some people that I know, and I will manage budget, I will manage timeline, I will manage acquisition of material, and I will manage personnel. I manage everything. You just sit on the sidelines, learn, and that's it. I will help you with design, because here's the thing, another thing that a lot of mistakes that people make is like, oh man, I see this kitchen, and you think that you're gonna live in the house. You're not gonna live in the house.
Yeah.
We gotta spend the least amount possible, but yet we gotta make the house look the best way possible, so you can get the highest ARV possible.
Correct.
That's it. But a lot of new investors, they just think that they're gonna live in the house. Oh no, not that tile. No, that tile is fine. Trust me, the house will sell.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yeah.
those are just a lot of mistakes
Keep
that I
it
see people
simple.
do. Keep it, keep it simple.
So the investment types that you guys are talking about, is it just solely focused on like single family, or is it just like multi-family, apartment?
I am now, ultimately, I wanna own properties in the Shandon area. I wanna do student rentals. That's what, multifamily. Multifamily. Yeah, for many reasons. But right now, what I've been focusing, where I learned, my niche has been single family rentals and flips. Yeah, so I'll pass my cards, I'll be in the back if you have any questions, and hope that we can help you in your journey.
Thank you.
I apologize, we ran over a little bit, you know, I just love doing for these guys. So I hope to see you all next month. Now, February 14th is when we normally have, it's going to be Tuesday, because February 14th is Valentine's Day. So normally it's every second Monday, except for this coming February, it's going to be Tuesday, the 15th. So everyone have a great evening. Oh,
wait a minute.
Does everyone have their business card here for an annual membership, a drawing board?
You gotta hold it high so you can't see the cards.
Oh, actually, it's okay. Well, we gotta be unbiased, okay? So, what do you like to do?
Mine is not in there.
all of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll come back.
It's purple.
Sean D. Monroe.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going back.
I have one, so you can pay it. You can pay it.
All right. Dream 12 Properties. Sean D. Monroe.
Oh, she's in there.
I have been a lottery.
How many cards you playing?
No.
Eddie. Winning Edge.
Eddie. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Shamira Jones.
There you go.
Commissioner Meyer, if it's okay, if you could, go ahead and text me.
Mr. Ricardo and I got your information.
Let's go.
I want to join. How do I get it? Step process. I'm going to do it until next month. I want to start
Thank you, Bob. Let's do it.
don't have any members of it. Okay, the best way is really, I hope their internet's working. I apologize. I know so much already. I just want the guidance. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. I don't need someone to hold my hand. And I'm not willing to take action because I'm already doing action. Okay. Is it just on the website? I don't know why they shut their internet off. I guess we can start using it. Tonight was great. That moved me. Everything with all of that. You notice that they're saying over and over again, it's not falling into that. It's got to work. And I'm not. I have been working. Absolutely, really hard on the things that I've been doing. But see, I want to build a capital. Yeah, I feel like wholesaling is a very not easy way. Nothing is easy, but anything that's easy to do is also easy not to do. And I'm willing to put in the time, motivation, and everything, and action. I will take the action that's necessary. The thing is, it's just fear. And having a little bit of guidance is one of the biggest things. Sounds good. Thank you. All right. Yeah.
Majority of his time in yeah, so all his kids went to school there.
We got some under contract. We never dealt in that market, so we gonna try to see. I don't know. Houses in Venezuela kind of cheap. We stick to mostly like the big area, like Marion. I would probably go Florence. Yeah, Murphy, Conway. You know, then next would be Fayetteville. What's next? What's after? What's crossing in Fayetteville or Wilmington?
That's a straight game.
Then what? Then Fayetteville, okay, yeah. So we're gonna start with the first area. So what you talking about doing? Commercial plan? You gonna be a realtor?
That's all. We're gonna go to
The next step to get the cheapest is cash buyer. So you let the wholesaler find it. You get a cash buyer. You need to still acquire property on the market. It doesn't matter. It all starts with wholesale. There's no way around it. That's the only way you're going to get a lot of equity. I really want the exit strategy. So what I did was I paid one team, and I really needed to get a lot of money. I paid one team, and put like 25 in it, and I sold out 155. I was able to pocket 20 grand. It was worth $200. You know, we bought $50 in equity in it, and I pulled out $20 and I rented out with the cash. $100. You know, you want to do it that way, but you still got to acquire it off market, or you have to acquire it from another wholesaler that's out there on the market. That's the only way the word method is to work out speed. Why none of them? Nothing. You ain't not knowing it. You got too many people against you in the MLS. You know? We got a real estate that watches stuff on the MLS. I bought stuff on the MLS. I ain't watching it. I watch it. I pitch all market deals. But as far as like going and search on the MLS and find a deal, no. What? Honestly. You can go that route, but it's too many big dog buyers already watching it. People don't want to do the work, you just got a lot of money. They're doing what you're talking about right now. And when they just the only shit you can do is the stuff that ain't worth the time that they ain't gonna touch. If the big dogs with the money ain't gonna touch it, you ain't got to really be touching it. So remember that in your mind.
So I got the
market.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't got, just follow me on Instagram. I just get everybody there. I don't even pass Colonel Chief, I'll be getting that. Yeah, I saw that on the phone. So right now, we're doing the site and doing all that extra shit. But yeah, you definitely just stay on board.
My husband cheated.
You already know. You gotta get on the internet. Wow. Gotta run it up. Yeah, she wanted to work on the market. She wanted to use it. I mean, you got a lot of money, it don't matter.
Where outside of
markets. Because he already knew you in the college. You feel me? And then I was supposed to go first. He told me like yesterday, like, oh yeah, I got an REI meeting in Columbia, and Eddie was like, "Need to speak." I'm like, I don't really be saying, but I don't really need to prepare because I already know once I start. Sometimes I already do is kind of running over time, so I just kind of. What's your name? You from? St. Tina? I know St. Tina. You live over there? No.
well, that's you're still there, right?
You're still over there?
Doing it the right way.
Huh? You're not getting in real estate? What do you do now? What's that team, man?
They think it's you. Oh, yeah. Jay,
I didn't tell me
And then I have great that cost me $6 to $10. I know wholesale. I started at 5 years. Yeah. We don't want to hear about real estate. No, but you got it. And like, advice. Like, you're doing well with it.
What's the exit strategy on that?
And I
He started I started like right after he did his. Really, I was in retail. I was doing a lot of retail. I've been trying to get a real estate lead, but still we before like I said before about just in my life, and I was like, this don't make no sense. It's about profit here, rented out, and only make profit $100. I don't see a lot of people trying to shit. So after he ended up going to jail for like 10 years, when he came home, he started telling me about it. So the truth of the matter, if I knew the interest rates of buying the whole market, I would have had a lot of shit loads of money, but I didn't know about it. Only thing I knew, I'm going to go to MLS and I'm going to find this property, I'm going to rent it out. And that's why I didn't do it. I was like, I'm going to make money. He came around and he started telling me, but only reason why I already know it's legit and real because it came from him because I knew he's so smart. So I just had to wait to see what he do. Right. So that's just he do this. I was I'm still in retail. He just did his thing and he closed the deal. I'm like, oh, this shit was like, so I started studying. Almost systematic. I need automation. I don't got time. I'm riding around. I don't know. You gotta know that we spend over $5,000 a month. We don't recommend that. That's what drives me. But not everybody wants to spend. I can't guarantee. I only can see within a 0 to 8 month period. You feel what I'm saying? You're going to score a deal. Now, you might score this deal in 15 weeks. You might score it in 25. You might score it in, but you might score it in 2 months. But that shit, I saw your action steps that you take. Action. So it's better to get it out the mud, like how he did. Jobs for dollars, and then you strike it again. Now you turn around and you take that money. Now it's time to leave that shit. So I'm going you're a little granny fan. I get up like 5 or 6 o'clock out of shit, so I am kind of over my time. I got a lot of sauce. I ain't staying. But yeah, you know, if you're just serious, it's the next step. It's the next step. And that's I don't mind doing it. He's trying to I got tax hours. I ain't that's what you're going for. But still, call it best to get some skin in the game, get down pat, you know what I mean? Understand it, understand the whole process.
Do you already do your
and start doing it.
Try to get it
you see all right, we have to call.